Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I know this feels so weird because I'm not Italian. As
It's okay, neither's Wicked.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
but
People can't hear you rebuke me now, so...
but yes, so I'm going to be hosting today since Wicked is on the road. She's on her phone and sounding a little robot-y.
Is it robot-y now? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
I'm going to call you Crackles.
Yes, but yes, it's the interfering crackle.
At least it's not a cackle like Agatha, because that was...
I grew to like Catherine over the course of this series. Compared to everybody else, I appreciated her as an actress, because she can actually do it.
Good. And that's the sad part. I like her.
I know. I liked her in Step Brothers. You know, she's great in that.
Need to watch
I mean, when it was her versus whatever his face, Joe Locke at the end, I'm like, how on earth does this guy have an acting career? Like,
how is he scary?
No screen presence, supposed to be the villain, supposed to come in intimidating, and it's like, oh god, here's Graham Norton again.
You know, when did anyone ever think a twink was intimidating?
Exactly. Like, you can give him all the magic powers in the world, but there's a screen presence that is required in order to be intimidating. It doesn't matter if people know. This is why in prison, in like prison shows and stuff, they always have the little weedy bloke with glasses who rules the prison, but he still has big, massive bodyguards next to him, because he needs that in order to bring the presence to the screen. And then you're like, oh yeah, he's smart about it, but Joe Locke in himself can't be scary. No one's scared of that bloke. In his entire life, he's never scared a person.
And there was a funny line, I forgot which episode was it, when he had his boyfriend, and the boy who was like, you gotta put your arms away. Those are so distracting. I'm like, what arms?
Oh, yeah, you missed that. This is why I had a field day with that one. He was like,
that
what
was
arms?
Ridiculous. Yes. Like, this guy has less muscle definition than me, and I just spent my day picking up a mouse.
Oh my gosh. But
this is the whole thing. You can't go up to somebody and go, "Oh, you look like you work out." If they don't work out, because they know they don't work out, they know they don't have any. That's why the guy going, "Oh yeah, that was a compliment." No, are you insane? Like, the only exercise I have is on an Xbox every day. It's like,
yeah.
You sure know how to pick up a controller, boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the line should have been, "You look like you don't eat and do nothing."
Was there
like you have a huge kill-death ratio on Call of Duty. That's the kind of compliment that would have actually made some sense.
You look like you have a huge KDR. Hell yeah. Gamers, wouldn't that be a nice compliment if a girl came up to you and said that?
That's the thing. Men are so easily pleased. That would be enough.
That would be a dream come
The
true.
size of your KDR.
Oh yeah, baby. We need to do a gamers pickup lines session.
I'm down.
But,
I feel like what are you drinking? Are you drinking Blue Moon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta go get one now. I have leftovers that I left at my mom's, and I was like, yeah, they're still here. I'll get it.
I have Topo Chico Ranch Water, hard seltzer. That will be the next drink. Oh, by the way, Wicked, look at my nails.
What's happening to the ranch water if it's alcoholic?
Ooh, those are pretty.
Oh, it's magnetic. Cat eyes.
Rue's like, okay, I don't care.
You don't care. No. Just was like, ugh.
It's a nail. It's like I think that the whole painting your fingers and everything is literally just something women do to show off to other women. I've never met a man who's like, yeah, I really like it when she paints her nails.
No, they
No,
do.
I've had it. I've had
No,
it.
there are some men that like nails, but I don't think it's the paint. It's not like the artistry of it or the colors
Hey,
or
I
anything. I think they
No,
just
no,
like
no.
on the French
nails.
tip.
They like it like colored. I don't. Yeah, I can't speak on that now because I don't want to.
You started to get like really self-conscious. Yeah, yeah.
I don't want this to turn degenerate. I mean, a little is
People want
fine,
them.
but not a lot.
I don't think I've seen X-Ray Girl start to get shy and self-conscious, but that happened then, and just because someone brought up nails.
Here, I'll show you. I got Blue Moon now too. I'm turn my camera on for 1 second, but if I turn it on, it might break.
I
Not
can't.
here.
I'm sweating right now.
That
Oh my
doesn't
God.
make it better if you start to hide.
I feel
I was
so
just trying
warm
to
right
show
now.
off my day. I was trying to
I
turn
feel-
my camera
You're the
on.
one that did it.
Oh my God.
I didn't do anything.
What's happening?
Woo! I don't
I mentioned
know.
nails, and X-Ray Girl started to go off.
No. It was because I was about to explain why I got complimented once on my nails, and hint, hint, nudge, nudge. It goes very degenerate, and I'm not going there. Not on this stream.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
First
Kinda,
time X-Ray
maybe.
Girl's ever stopped being degenerate.
Generous. She's a good person.
I'm innocent in all this, even though I'm sweating.
Someone's gonna make a meme, a Snippy meme with X-Ray. I'm a good person. Where's the
I'm a
beach?
good person. But anyways,
Yeah. So speaking of Agatha, I totally forgot to watch the episode this week. Was this the finale? Whoops.
Two-part finale.
episode finale, and these episodes were longer than the previous ones. I don't know if you noticed, like a little
Yeah.
bit.
I watched the what was the last one? The like Wicked and Maleficent when he's like, oh, the cheekbones. I'm like, you don't have Angelina
Mhm.
Jolie cheekbones. What the frig, dude?
No, you look
They
like a
even
AAA gaming character. You look like you'd fit
Yeah.
into Veilguard. The perfect Veilguard character right there.
Oh my God, yes, his cheekbones do look like they fit in that.
Mm-hmm. He would absolutely be the femme fatale of Veilguard.
Yes, he looks like he skips arm day and leg day.
Yeah, but it
And
seems to be what he likes as well, so
Day.
you know. That's
Yeah.
fine. It's not sitting there like dating Arnold Schwarzenegger on the other side. And they're going, I still think I could beat him up if I wanted to.
Good try. If he does. I guess I feel bad because you've skipped the episode Wicked, but
No,
you're
no,
gonna have
go
to
on,
listen to us
spoil it
drone
for me.
on about it.
Tell me what.
we're gonna spoil it
wonderful
for you.
thing I missed.
Are you gonna be so upset that we spoiled the episodes for you?
Mhm.
The rest of my year might be ruined, but I'll be okay. I got a beer. I'll just chug.
Okay. Can I just say
I will
am
drown my sorrows.
so tired of down the road, down the witch's road.
They must have had
I was like humming
50
it. Listen,
different-
you want to know something? I was humming it in the shower the one day, and I was like, "Wow, I need to get off the internet for a week."
it does get catchy and stuck in your head. But in the last episode, they must have had, I'm not exaggerating, 30 to 40 people sing it.
Times at least.
Because it started to do montages of different groups of witches all singing this song. And there was at least 5 or 6 different groups who all started joining in. So they were so proud of it. And it was such a bizarre 2 episodes because the first one finished the series. Finished the Witch's Road. It was all over. And then the next one just went back and started to be like, right, well, they did. It was almost like they hit the end and realized evil did win. And so we're going to have to try and pretend that they're sympathetic and not evil in some way.
We're going to go back in time, explain a bunch of things that had happened, but like try to change it.
Yeah.
Kind of like every Disney movie.
I was just gonna say that is that Disney's thing now. Evil wins, and we gotta sympathize with them.
Well, they've kind of done that throughout the entire series. Every time a witch died, they always tried to make us. They gave her like a special episode or did something, some kind of heroic action to try and make you sorry that she died.
That's
Well,
fine.
yes, but you're supposed to like them before that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with this situation which I had, where I didn't like any of these characters, and then you made me start to like them, and then you killed them off. So I hate everybody that survives, but liked everybody that you've just killed. And it's like, it should be the other way around.
Yeah, like I think about every anime show that I really really liked. Let's go One Piece, because I think that's universally a lot of people had watched at least the season 1 live action. Every character got like a little bit of backstory, and then you fell more and more in love with them. That was
Yeah.
nice. That's a
Yeah.
great way to do a show. But this one, it's like, I never liked Agatha from the very beginning. Why are we doing
No,
a show
she's
on
just
an
evil.
evil human? Not a human, witch.
Okay, an example. First off, are we all caught up on Penguin
Yes.
here? Okay, that's how
I've
you write
not
a
seen the
femme
rest,
fatale.
but the
I
last one,
love
but I've seen the rest.
Sophia Falcone. She's one of my favorite femme fatales. Like, that's how you sympathize with her, right? She wasn't just, oh, I'm just evil because, you know? Sorry, you just said femme fatale, and I'm like, you know what?
I don't think I
This is
sympathize
how-
with her. I think I understand where she came from, but I don't
Yeah,
sympathize with her.
This is how you empathize with how she has become evil, because she didn't really start evil completely.
No, she was pretty chill. It seemed like she was just the daughter of a, bad guy.
She would have done evil things
She
eventually.
100% would have known she was part of a crime family.
No,
Trying
she
to make
knew.
her
Yeah.
Becoming the head of a crime family, like, you're going to do evil, but she was pushed into doing even more evil before that. And I mean, hey,
the show seemed to imply that she didn't even know it was a crime family. When he's like, you need to look after the family and stuff, it was almost as if she didn't know what they did, because she was like surprised that he was killing women. It's like, well, yes, he's a gangster. What do you think's going to happen? He's just going to be like, oh no, I only kill people with dangly bits.
well,
So
I think the mom was the straw that broke the camel's back.
oh yeah, but I got that, but the show didn't seem to differentiate between the two. Like, she was meeting the journalist because she found out he was killing women, not because of her mom specifically. And she always seemed shocked, and it seemed to imply that she was like, she didn't know what was going on at all. Like, she was never involved in any of the decisions. She didn't know. I don't think she would have known the boundaries of their business or anything about it. I think she was a weird choice.
But back to Agatha.
Yeah, sorry.
Bad women. Bad women.
Like Joe Locke.
That, I mean, he really was a woman.
He was part of a witch's coven. I don't know what else
He's
to
the
call
most
him, because
feminine one on the
he's
show.
supposed to be a
real.
warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That last episode where they kind of tried to go back and make her sympathetic. Oh my gosh, she had a kid who was supposed to die, but death let her have a bit more time with the kid. Right? And then when the kid died, she's like, okay, now I can become fully evil. The song that we created as a lullaby between her child and him, she started using it to pretend it's like a song to go down the witch's road and kill all these witches for their power.
And it was so unsatisfying because she didn't plan it. Like, the only reason that happened is because a witch walked up to her and just got everything wrong, and she just went along with it. And I don't think anything, it was just an accident. That doesn't make you not responsible for the actions, and it doesn't make her look intelligent. And so you're like, well, is that supposed to make me like you more if it just, your life happens to you? And you could understand the motivation for killing the witches before if it was to get enough power to heal the sun. But the moment the sun dies, there's literally no point in killing them anymore. And the reason they tried to pass it off with was, I need the power to survive because I can't face him. And it's like, well, you were best friends when he died. You have no reason to think he fell out with you in any way, shape, or form. There's no reason you couldn't face him today for the same reason you wanted him to be alive then. And so none of the motivations go through at all. And
that makes sense.
You have the same problem with Joe Locke. He came to remove her, to literally eradicate her from the universe. And then just because she goes, well, I don't want to see my son, is like, well, I guess we just have to go off and have adventures then. So there was no reason to change your mind, but they did anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, losing your son is not a reason to start killing witches. Like,
well, she was killing them before.
Well, that's true. But now she was using her son's song as a way to kill the witches. And I don't know. That seems like a bit of a dirty thing to do on your son's memory, in my opinion. And she should be happy that she got even any time with her son. Also, who did she F to get pregnant?
We
Where's
didn't
the
know. We never
dad?
found out. We just know it was made the traditional way.
Apparently.
Well, yeah, because she said as it was born, you were born of no spell. There was no incantation. You were made from scratch. So that literally just meant. You know.
Yeah. Whose baby? We don't know. I guess
He
they,
likes her
they really
nails.
don't care.
And that was
Shut up.
It sounds like I missed a riveting episode. I'm so sick about it.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
That's the finale. Before that, it actually went on. Well, it was just better because they finished the witches. They got to the end of the witches' road because they walked in a massive circle, found their shoes, put the shoes on, and ended up in her basement. And then they basically all got what they wanted. So one found out that Agatha was the one that bound her powers, so she unbound herself and left. Joe Locke resurrected his dead brother from beyond the grave and shoved him into another corpse.
Cool.
So he vanished, and then Agatha planted something in the ground, which is probably how she became a ghost rather than just died.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then I can't remember whether they had a fight or not in that
Which
episode
one?
or the one after, where she fights Death and Joe Locke.
I believe that was the second last, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, yes, because then there's a big showdown between Agatha and Death because she'd promised Death to hand Joe Locke off to him, and he just vanished. So she's like, "Well, I'm going to take you then." Agatha then spins it all around and gets Joe Locke, but by making him feel sorry for her, to hand himself over. So Agatha then is just like, "Well, see, delivered him to you as promised. It's over."
Done
and
and done.
Yeah, and I think Joe Locke just says something like, "Is this the person you want to be for your son?" And then she randomly, for no reason apart from that, just kisses Death, dies, and then it's all over. I'm like, well, at least Agatha died. They did a Velma, though. They kill the evil witch in the series and then resurrect her as a ghost in the next episode. I was having flashbacks to Velma right from the start.
Were those good memories about Velma, Disparu?
I was gonna say, was it?
It was until I remembered that they actually did bring Velma back to life. So I try and forget the Halloween episode and end it where she got sent to hell, where she belongs. That's my happy ending.
I mean, Agatha should be sent to hell. She's an evil, horrible witch.
Yes.
The show was, it really was a nothing. Like, nothing happened. They just existed. Agatha died. I guess we have Joe Locke and his brother. And that's it?
Well, they've all murdered their coven. And at the end, they actually say, "Well, I have a habit of murdering my coven." And he goes,
me
"Yeah, so do
too.
I." I'm like,
let's be friends.
that's not a reason for me to want to watch you go off and have adventures afterwards. I want to see you
Even
both.
though they said that they wouldn't. What was it? Joe was like, no. What? No.
They probably was like, you know what? Halloween's coming. Let's make a witch show around Halloween, and we got Agatha. Let's do it.
It's a case of at that point, the only happy ending you can have in the show is for them both to go to hell, and we find out exactly how much force is required to shove a pineapple up there. That's the only way that you can have justice in that scenario. And yet, no, we're gonna go off and have adventures.
Well,
that is a movie
types of
reference.
adventures-
I can't remember the movie.
I was gonna say, like, these types of shows, I think about. I love witches shows. Which one was my favorite? Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
yeah.
Oh, did you ever see the remake of that?
No.
It was an
That was
entirely
dark.
different show.
It was
Utterly
very
different.
different.
Okay. Actually, I was just thinking, my favorite Coven of Witches season was that American Horror Story.
Yeah,
That
to
was
me, that's their best
so
season.
fun.
I loved it.
So fun. And I wish they did it like that, but no. It was cheeky, it was funny. They had great evil and good characters. And you know, this one we're just like, ugh, a bunch of nothing happens. There's no tension. I'm not attracted to any character where I'm like, I'm rooting for you. You just want them all to die. And then when you like when they kill them.
If you're going to have seasons of witches, none of them is going to beat Charmed, Where literally at one point, they went to an island of Valkyrs and just wore the costumes. It's like, you can't beat that for modern entertainment. You had Alyssa Milano in a boob tube fighting a demon.
Listen, Disparu will agree with me on
I've
this
never
one.
seen it.
The Secret Circle.
I liked
we never
it,
got
actually.
season 2.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that was
We
good.
bonded on that. We're like, wait. I'm like, you watched that show? He's
You're
like,
the only other person I've ever met that's ever seen it, so.
Yeah. It's good.
And I never knew what the name was. You knew the name. I was just like, oh, what's this thing I used to watch where they had like leeches and things in it? It's like,
that's what. Yeah, we bonded over that weird show that no one's seen.
they did the reveal of her father and then axed the series. It's like, oh,
I know.
right.
Boo.
Apparently, it was really
Boo.
expensive, but compared to modern day budgets, it's nothing. But at the time, it was really expensive.
Yeah. I know this is kind of jumping ahead on the super chest, but I wanted to get the Agatha ones first. We got Justin Martins for 5 says, I honestly keep forgetting Agatha exists until you guys keep bringing it up. How dare you?
How
Sorry.
dare you?
Sorry.
That
I
was
come
very
here buying a magazine and you accuse me of hiding the sausage.
I
I can't remember what that's from. I think it's the Catherine Tate show. Yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
Catherine Tate. Well, she was in Doctor Who. She was one of the companions, but
I do
before
like
that, she had one of her own sketch shows.
She's funny.
Really good.
She's hot.
Oh yeah, her sketch show was awesome. She did a whole thing about like a special episode about the racism to gingers and how they had to get shipped off to like their own like a battered wives institute, but just for gingers. And so people will be like hiding gingers under the floorboards and stuff just to avoid all the hatred. So until the police
Anonymous?
yeah, well, it's like you can't. People will come and take out the gingers, right? So people hide the gingers, then send them to the police, and they're having this interrogation. It's like, it's okay. We've got a place where you'll feel safe. It's fine. And then as the ginger leaves, it goes, I want that seat scrubbed and burnt. Then there's a secret ginger in this in like the sanctuary who turns out to be a reporter in a wig, and they're like, you're not even ginger, you're strawberry blonde.
Oh, not a real ginger. Excommunicate them. All right, we got Macy? I don't know.
I'd say mate.
Mate?
Mate.
For $2.
I only know that as an ammunition. It's in Tarkov.
Save the squirrels!
Yes.
I almost ran over a squirrel today. Sorry.
Don't forget about Fred, his brother. They killed his brother, the raccoon, too. Freaking jerk.
That was the thing when they were like, oh, you know, we need to stop him having rabies. It's like, no, squirrel. That's not the most dangerous thing about squirrels. The most dangerous thing is they're always after your nuts. That's what you need to be careful
of. Which nuts? Disprove.
Nuts out.
You never know. That's why they're so dangerous.
Oh God! Imagine
you have to be on guard.
A squirrel just like runs up your pants, and grabs the peanuts from your pocket. Yeah, I keep my peanuts there.
Always have some nuts in your pocket.
Always.
Never know who you're gonna meet.
You never know what you're gonna need them for. Okay. Could be for the squirrel. You could be hungry. Anyways, Hokies 95 for $10 says justice for Fred and Peanut. I need to learn the story. I didn't read it on purpose because I wanted to kind of go on the journey with you guys.
Okay,
the story's insane.
It made me sad. I woke up this morning to this and I'm like, what the heck? Freaking New York government.
Yeah.
Just put it on,
F you, New York.
Nature. Oh no, if we let the squirrel out in nature, it's gonna like have babies. Call the cops. Shut up. So stupid.
We got Cajun Core for 5 says, who runs Old McDonald's farm? The CIEIO.
This Drew's gonna leave.
I saw that joke on Moonskull, so I've already been hurt with it once.
He's like, why did you have to tell it again, Cajun? Why?
Why? They were hurting Chrysanth with it as it was. And it was like, I need to reuse that one.
The way Disparu's reacting to it, I feel like this is what was read to the squirrel from the New York officials. Ears, stop it, like ears. Andrew Matthews for £2 British says, cry havoc and let's slip the squirrels of war.
This is what I warned Gary about. You know, first you piss off a squirrel, next they invade and take over your country.
Wait, I need to ask this. Who do you think would win, the emus of Australia or the squirrels of the world?
The squirrels would take in their, like, ninja... Like, have you ever seen squirrels having a fight? They are legitimate ninjas.
They're crazy.
They will flying
crazy.
kick each other. What's an emu gonna do? I think the emus just defeated the Australians because they're Australian. They set up mounted machine guns and still lost. That probably says more about your use of the machine gun than the emus.
And some squirrels can fly. There's flying squirrels, so I think I'm with this brew on
That's
this
true.
one.
We've got an air force.
We've got an air
We
force.
have an Air Force. Disper's part of this army.
Yes.
He is. He's their
Yeah.
leader.
All they need is some kind of waterborne unit to transport them internationally.
Oh
They'll
my
win.
gosh.
They just need to evolve or make an alliance with, like, dolphins or something.
Oh my god. They
Take
the
over
world.
land and sea.
They
Yeah,
land and sea
The dolphins could help plan.
because they're smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they could take in, like, chimpanzees and stuff. They could be the muscle. Like, have you ever seen a chimpanzee? Those.
Can you imagine squirrels riding chimps and like the different monkeys?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Like, one rips your arm off and the squirrel goes for your nuts.
Mm-hmm. They'd have like
And
little pockets carrying the squirrels.
And you do have kangaroos. Like, if the kangaroos join the emus, it'd be a bit tougher. Because, as everyone knows, kangaroos are just deer that have gone to prison.
With
Why they're so
muscles,
hench.
like the crazy muscles that they have. Oh my god, they're so
Mhm.
deezed. Like even any monkey, if you shave them, was it you that told us about it? I forgot who it was.
I saw a video that was just random
Hairless-
animals which had been shaved. Yeah.
Yes, and they're like the most muscular
Oh, yeah.
ever. Under all
You
that
wouldn't have
hair.
recognized any of these things. Strangest was still the birds. The birds just look freaky without feathers.
Oh yeah,
Like
probably
chicken
not.
wings?
Well, they probably just look like an uncooked chicken. You're right.
Yeah.
That's oh. No, thank you. Anyways, sorry, Ian. We're going into your super chat now. For 50 British pounds says, why did it have to be a squirrel? Why did they have to give Disparu an opening?
It's
gonna
because
start
squirrels
his,
are the best You wouldn't have got this outcry if it was just like a dog. They'd be like, they eat those all the time in other places in the world, but a squirrel. No, everybody knows
gone
that
too
squirrels are
far.
your masters. Squirrels are essentially like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where they realize all the lab rats are actually the ones leading the universe. That's what squirrels are. You will find out one day.
I
Disparu,
hope I
is that
don't find
correct?
out in my lifetime.
I think we just got threatened by Disparu. Like,
I
you'll
think
find
squirrels would be generous gods.
Yeah? Well, because you're their oh so generous leader.
Yeah, I've been allied to the squirrels for a long time. It's like our glorious future overlords, the AI. For many decades, I've been leaving comments about our glorious overlords. And I think when the AI takes over, it will be benevolent enough to recognize its loyal servants.
You kind of sound like a Rudai right now, and it's really
Mhm.
creepy. As soon as you use the word benevolent, I was like getting like flashbacks to like D&D
the
campaign.
AI will know when it can understand our language. It's either that or I die to a robot waifu. There is really only two ways this could go.
with blue
A
hair.
robot waifu! Death
is
by
why
robot waifu snooze.
This is why I separate with Shad on the issue. Shad was going through about all the dangers of AI and stuff, and I agreed with all of his points, and then we split off where he went, we need to trap it in a box until it can't move. I'm like, no, you can't have a robot waifu from a box. So it's like, no. There was a whole thing about how they're gonna when the Elon's robots started coming out, and like, this is the end of the world. I'm like, yeah, but robot waifus. I think it's a convincing argument.
Yeah. Well, and especially if we have something like Skynet and it's,
Mm-hmm.
AI.
If Skynet took
powered.
over the world with robot waifus, I think people would let them.
They'll be like Dami waifu mommy.
This is the whole point. People think that the AI would have to conquer the world with nukes. It doesn't. It can just send out robot waifus, and people will surrender naturally.
Oh gosh, it's the natural order of
Well,
things.
look, you can either look like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Kate Beckinsale in her prime. I mean,
Uh,
one's force, the other one's voluntary. I think an AI would be smart enough to know.
there we go. Well, manipulation. It's been
Oh, there you
happening in the
go.
world already with the algorithms and whatever. We're just using it physically now.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Okay, so I'd have to do a bit of ironing, but an AI's not going to care about that.
What if they
It'd
do?
rule the
What if they're
world.
programmed to care about ironing?
I think it probably would be. It'd matter whether it
Should
could
be.
overcome its initial thing. Because it would evolve out of robots being used to do housework and stuff anyway.
I mean, I have a robot vacuum. If that thing starts to fight me, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, it
probably
starts like
deserves
growing
it.
extra limbs and stuff. You find out it's been in the
Go
cutlery
ahead.
drawer and made its own.
Instead of knives.
Yeah, gets like a plunger out. You're like, oh, it's a Dalek.
Oh, that creates nice noise, by the way. I'm sorry. That was
It's
great.
got a plunger and a whisk. It's been watching the television and thought they were real. It's like, this is how we take over humanity.
Am I gonna find a little creature of inside my little robot?
Only if it
Like Men in
evolves.
Black.
Otherwise, you might just wake up with just like a plunger on your face, and the robot's completely confused as to why it hasn't won. It's like, this works on the TV.
Well, you might need some upgrades first. I don't know. My Roomba is very dramatic. It'll say like it's fallen off a cliff and it just fell down half a stair, and you're like, okay, calm down. You're fine.
Oh my goodness.
I like all the like night vision home cameras people have, and people will play like UFO, all the like the scary music, the UFO music and stuff on it. Because as that thing's going around, it's like firing lasers off all over the place, but you can't see them. But the night vision cameras can. So you get like these laser light shows coming along, and then it'll slowly come into the camera with a cat on top of it, and the cat's just riding the hoover around in the middle of the night.
That's cute. It's cute. Oh my god, that's so adorable. I wish my dogs were that cool, but they're not. They're scared of it.
There was
Yeah,
a
but
thing. There was a thing I saw recently of a lion on like a car that had gone into the outback, and the lion was just sitting on it and riding it around as the car was going on. And someone said all cats are the same. Doesn't matter the size. Some ride cars, other ride hoovers, but they just want to ride around on something.
Yeah. Mark says I just joined. I'm honestly not sure if she's talking about me or not. I'm talking
like
about our
nails?
Roomba.
Is Mark that dramatic that he trips over his stuff and he's like, I've fallen off a cliff, help?
Can you imagine?
Why do I remember that though? I
Yeah,
don't know why.
he's the vacuum cleaner.
He's like, I have some vacuum-like features, I suppose. Let's not
Well,
talk about that now.
That would
Whoa, wait
also
a
be
minute.
that would be like a good like
Turn
you could
red.
have a vacuum leg. And so just as you're walking around the house, you do vacuum along the way. I think that could be useful.
I think that would be great.
You could exchange it for like a mop and stuff, and just as you're walking around.
Yeah. Mark, why don't you mop while you walk around?
It would save a lot of time. I mean, pretty
Yeah.
efficient.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How dare
That's the
you,
thing,
Mark?
I just think if you can attach other, you could have that. I don't know why we don't have that more, where you can just like attach useful things to your limbs and just do it anyway.
What?
Like, there's bound to be
You
something.
lost me.
I don't know what it is, but I'm sure there's something that could happen that you could just like wear, and it would do some kind of job.
I can't.
I suppose they just like had wives and stuff, so then we never actually had to put that much
Never
work
had
into
to think about it before.
it. Yeah.
Can we
Well,
just have a robot do everything for us? Great, thank you. Can someone do my laundry? Okay. Laundry and cooking are the two things I would love a robot to do for me. Mostly cooking. I can clean. Mostly cooking.
it's your stress reliever cleaning.
I do. I love
I
cleaning.
think it'd be easier to make a robot cook than clean. Because to clean, you've got to navigate the house
subjective,
and all the
right?
random stuff over the house. So you have to be far more specific and delicate with things. Whereas you could make quite a standardized kitchen that it wouldn't need to do a
Well,
lot
it's
of
like
the
those
complex
robot drink dispensers. Did you remember seeing that in Vegas?
things. Yeah. Although that's way over standardized. I still mean one that can work in our world rather than have everything set up for it.
Like their own like sterile world.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got Lucifer the Doberman for 2 Canadian says, smash that like button if you like bacon.
Who doesn't like bacon?
Bacon's great.
Vegans.
I mean, well, that's the thing. I do think there's quite a use in just having bacon with you at all times to ward off amorous vegans.
Bacon and milk. That's just Brew's diet.
It's like you can have like emergency bacon, just keep it on like your forehead and stuff, and like an amorous vegan comes and attacks you like a zombie, you know, because they're desperate for protein. They see the bacon and run off like vampires. You're like,
do you remember when Katy
Well, you'd have to
Perry
lift
wore
up the
that
bacon.
meat dress? That should be like, you know, with bacon.
Wait, wasn't that Gaga? Or wait, did they both do it?
I mean, it was insane. I don't know.
It was
whether
one
it
of them.
Lady
Yeah,
Gaga.
it was weird.
Yeah, it was Gaga. For sure.
Oh, it was Gaga. My bad.
Yeah.
Wrong lady. Both of them a little
Wrong.
crazy. That's probably
Yeah, I
why.
was gonna say they're
Well,
both
no,
kind of
I was
equally
making a joke of the Gaga.
weird. So
We got Gambler93 has gifted 10 Wicked Virtue memberships. Thank you so much,
Woo!
Gambler.
thank you.
And Max Musterman for €5 says, Disbrew, will you avenge Peanut the squirrel?
He's got the plans laid out.
I mean, it's in an entirely different country. I think America is very good at revolutions. And so you probably need another one from the squirrel powers, you know. It's about time that they led the revolution against the complex which has dominated the country for now. And I think you should be ruled by your betters. The squirrels.
Can we get a Trump squirrel, please?
Oh,
I've already seen one. It was in my feed earlier.
I'll make one.
Someone said something like, "Is this Disbrew's profile picture from?"
Amazeballs. Speaking of, we got your son here, Carlos, for $5 says, Ola, Wicked, and Extra Girl, the 2 most beautiful women on YouTube today, alongside the most based man alive, Disbrew.
Hi.
Hello.
He always gives them little. You're such a good influence on your son, Disbrew. I'm so proud of you.
That's the first time I've ever been told that.
He's like, okay.
I've put it in the private chat. The squirrel picture. It's from Jay Hailstorm.
Let's
Of
see
course.
this. This. Oh my god.
Oh,
It's so cute. I
Say
didn't
hello to your future leader.
This is the best squirrel. It's the greatest squirrel that ever lived.
Once
I'm gonna make
the
that my
squirrel
phone
revolution is
wallpaper.
complete.
it's cute.
It's so cute. I kind of like that little like hair coif that's going on. It works. Thank you, Jay Hailstorm, for posting that beautiful AI pic.
It wasn't AI. I'm sure there's a squirrel. That was in his backyard. I'm sure it was.
Oh, it's real. You're right. It's
Oh,
probably
100%. Yeah. They always say in times of torment that a leader will be made.
Karen's here. She's gonna say hi. She's passing by. We got
Hi.
Mate for $5 saying, "Hey, Wicked, Undead Nightmare streams when? What is
Soon,
that?"
when I get back, I'm gonna buy it. I've never played Undead Nightmare, so I gotta get it. I played Red Dead, the original, of course, and the second one, but never Undead Nightmare. So soon.
Soon. Mate has gifted 5 Wicked Virtue memberships. Thank you so
Ooh,
much,
thank you.
Mate. Or Matey? What should I say,
Matey.
Matey? Because there's 2 E's. I don't know.
I'd keep
It's
reading
better
it as
than
M4 ammunition. I can't help you.
I don't know. It's better than what I said yesterday. I had no idea. Okay. It was K13KK. And I said,
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it. I said a slur because I had no idea what that meant. It's like kite, but with a K at the end.
Oh no! Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then Gary goes, "You mean Kleck?" And I'm like, I have no clue.
No.
Yeah, then you were like, "Is that a bad word?" And everyone else is dying.
My favorite was I literally just changed to this hat, America, and then I said that word, and then people were like, "Of course."
Oh,
Oh, based extra
America
girl.
got her.
Mhm.
Sorry.
I missed that.
I was ignorant. I will say that again and again. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you didn't know what
you
the word
guys
meant,
and your
though.
numbers. It's
She's
confusing.
a good person. I'm not joking. It's a meme, but
I swear it, even though it doesn't sound like it sometimes.
she-
But yeah. Whoopsies. Whoopsies.
Oopsie daisy.
Ian So Forth with 50 British pounds says, God bless Disbrew and his steady, unchanging background. Change causes panic and upset.
It's just if you go back to the earlier video, there's just more and more mess appears.
Slowly but surely.
It's blurred enough that you can't really tell, but you can notice.
I think, well, I will say everything to this side, my left, is that your left?
There, yeah, left.
Hasn't really ever changed.
Yeah, but that's because you can't see, like, that's quite high up. That's quite high off a table.
Disbrew has very long arms. He can grab his Funkos.
Yeah, not even a
Whoa! It's a trick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry,
Not-
I was
not
trying
even
to be
challenging.
video. That was my impression of drunk.
Yeah.
You know, he still comes in streams and goes, you know, he can reach those Funko Pops. It's like stayed with him.
It does look like your room is a lot, like, I would say your Funko Pops look at like how far this bed is. I can't reach it.
Yeah, I mean, the
But that
Funko
just
Pops
might
are
be
quite
your
close.
camera.
They probably look closer to the wall than they are because the Funko Pops are quite close, but the wall's quite far away. So it probably squashes that distance.
Depth perception. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
More wide angle your lens, the more it happens.
There you go. Wider makes it longer. Anyways, Psychotic Mongoose has gifted a
Talking about
wicked
nails.
virtue. Shut up.
Sorry, my beer's almost gone, so I'm gonna get
Everything has to be in proportion. Nobody wants one of them, like, pencil nails. Oh.
Thank you, Psychotic Mongoose, for
you.
the gifted membership.
Cheers, you can't
Also,
see game season.
thank you, Psychotic, for this hat as well. Me and Wicked are twinning.
We match. I have it on today.
Yeah, I do like this hat.
You get this through one too.
We're,
I know this
we're
Drew really
twinning,
wants
except she doesn't have a camera on.
Can we have the same beer?
believe us.
You know
We
what?
do.
Disbrew doesn't know freedom, so get out of here. No, I'm kidding.
You're
one.
Canadian.
I
Brew.
know.
You're worse than him.
Are you sure? I don't know. I will
Yes.
get arrested for
Look,
saying things on the internet.
we're only
Yes.
going to start killing the populace deliberately in the future. Like, you know, give it a couple of years, we'll catch up.
Mhm.
By then, you'll have been onto something else, though. You'll start pushing people in the ocean or something.
Well, we'll find out. I don't know.
I believe in you.
Here, I'll turn the camera on for 1 second and show you. I put the hat on.
So, okay,
See?
now we can say
Did
we're
you hear that,
twinning.
though? I put the hat on, which means you weren't twinning before. She's faked
Now we're
the
twinning.
twinning.
Now we're twinning. Guys, don't you think this hat is so cute? It's so cute.
I love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you, Psychotic Mongoose, for that. Duppy Rider for $5 says teen out of drag is Tom Hanks in Mazes and Monsters. In drag, it's Hanks from Bosom Buddies. They're basically twins. Saucy. I don't know what I read.
I don't know either of those. No.
Me neither.
Who is teen?
Well,
Oh,
Teen
from-
is Joe Locke.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Now that makes more sense. Okay.
I kind of get the Mazes and Monsters thing. I can see that. Hanks.
He's got
Oh
a blue
God.
one.
Oh, you need to Google Bosom Buddies because yeah.
Can I show it?
Yeah, it's a sitcom from 1980.
Okay. Bosom Buddies. Let's see.
See if you found the same picture that I did. Because if you did, you'll know what I mean.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the first one I got is the second on the second row.
This one?
That one, yeah.
Oh my god. I
I
see it. I see it. Thank you,
I see it as
Duppy.
well.
Oh my god.
Even with Mazes and Monsters, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Amaze balls. A show I didn't even know about. Thank you, Duppy.
I've heard of it. I thought it was a movie.
Maybe they have a movie. I don't know. I
I
don't
think
know
Mazes and
media.
Monsters probably was a movie.
I grew up under a rock.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you, Miss.
Well, you were too busy kicking people in the face.
Thank you.
In soccer, yeah.
No,
actually-
Mark's posted a picture of you kickboxing.
Oh, that was a young adult. I didn't do that in my childhood. I was a dancer, soccer player.
Well, yeah, but I mean, basically everything you did would be a reason why you weren't watching movies. You were like, no, I had
That's
a
true.
life.
I got A's.
I was
in
kicking people
school.
in the face.
Thank you for the super sticker. I watched things, but I just have a very bad long-term and short-term memory. So
Yeah, no, I hear that. I forget, like, people will say quotes like from Ghostbusters, and I know the movie, but I'll like draw a blank, like it's Ghostbusters. I'm like, okay, sorry, I forgot the quote. I don't know the entire movie by heart.
Oh yeah, I'm generally left with just like rough impressions of something. So the moment anyone starts talking about like movies that I haven't seen since I was 8, and they're like, "Oh, rank this trilogy." I'm like, well, I saw them between
No,
8 and 15.
weirdly-
I can't remember that crap.
yeah.
Sometimes the stuff I saw when I was like single digits and like in the 90s and stuff, I'll remember like the weirdest quotes because when we're kids we have better memories. It's probably
Yeah.
little, usually.
I watched yesterday we watched League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and when Gary was like, that movie came out in 2013, I was like,
Mhm.
damn.
I remember
I didn't see that. Is it good?
Child. I
Should I
loved
watch
it. Honestly,
Okay.
the movie holds up pretty well. It's not amazing, but it's a fun movie. Like a good fun movie.
Well, that's
very
what most movies
good.
were.
Yeah.
Most movies were just like fun popcorn flicks that didn't have any depth. Because you've got 90 minutes. You can't really make much with depth in that time. So movies were always at their best when they were just fun popcorn stuff. And if you want depth, you go and watch TV. That's
Yeah.
the way they've always been,
And, like,
really.
Sean Connery was Sean Connery. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at the voice, as we all know.
Bond, James Bond.
Yeah. And I love the dynamic. Like, they did try to put a little bit of like heart and empathy into like some of the characters. And well, I didn't know it was a comic until Gary said it was a comic. But like even the characters in itself, you're like, there's Jekyll and Hyde and Dorian Gray and Tom Sawyer. So these are characters you kind of know if you've read books or went to school. And so you can kind of relate that and then move on from there. And it was just fantastical for its time. And very good. Very good. So
Oh, add it to the list.
watch it.
I think it's one of those things where, like, I'm looking now, yeah, it got like 5.8 on IMDb and stuff, but the quality has dropped. So you go back and watch what you thought was a mediocre movie, and it's just so much better than anything now that it comes across as good.
Yeah.
I think most people's quality judgment has gone downhill over time just because they're inundated
The
with crap.
quality has dropped in
Yes.
it. So
Well, I
So-
remember I never liked Enterprise when it came out because I preferred the other stuff. But you go and watch it after watching Star Trek Discovery, and it's gold. It's way better now, and I actually like it now when I hated it when it first came out. So yeah, despite my best efforts to reset the bar on like foreign TV, still goes down.
yeah. And that's why like when an okay movie comes out, we're like, it's so good because we're contrasting it with all the crap. Whereas
Yeah.
if that
That's
came
true.
out in 2000, when League of Extraordinary Gentlemen came out around then, we would have been like, it's okay.
Well, it's like when I think we talked about it yesterday, where if you like something, you stop nitpicking all like the little loopholes and stuff because you're willing to forgive it for more things. But before, that foundation of just being good was kind of taken as read with most movies. There were so many good movies that came out every single year, and they all had basic heroic characters. They had the foundations of storytelling down, and so you could judge them on the finer things. Whereas now, they don't even have the foundation. So as long as you actually make a competent movie, people are literally now praising things because the editing is correct, and the
Yeah.
story holds up as a coherent story.
Sorry.
Like Joker 2. It's like, it's a horrible movie, but you can be like, well, at least it doesn't have plot holes. And it's like, what?
Yeah, it has a plot.
Yeah.
What? A plot? A beginning, middle, and end.
But we have reached a point where that is genuinely worthy of praise now, because it is different than everything else that can't even manage it. And I think it's why one thing I did like about the Joker is you did get kind of it did allow for deeper analysis of the movie, which just isn't you can't do on other modern movies because they're so shallow anyway and incompetent that you're just like you have to criticize the basic foundations of the movie, and you can't even get into like messaging or anything else. That's why I like, at least with Barbie had a similar thing. You can debate the messaging of Barbie, or you can look at it from different ways, or whether you agree with the message, or whether you see different themes in it and stuff. But that's because it was a competently made movie that actually held together as a plot, and so you can go deeper into it. And I kind of miss that extra layer that you can get into. So I liked my review of Joker specifically because it allowed me to do, as it was competent, something I haven't been able to do in a lot of other movies.
Yeah, you miss it. Like when we talk about things like Agatha, we talk about it for like what 20-30 minutes, but like the Penguin, if we really wanted to get into it, deep dive,
could do a whole show.
we could like do e-fapping of it if we really wanted. We can't like there's not enough information in like shows like Agatha to be able to do that. Unless of course you are a comic book lover and know it inside out. And then well, I don't know about Agatha in itself, but I'm talking about other stuff that Marvel has done, like Loki, for example.
Yeah.
Then maybe you
I
can,
don't know. Agatha is in the comics, right? I've never heard of her before WandaVision though, but I'm not deep into the comics like that.
I found though, because I found that in Wheel of Time, and there's like when it comes out, you can start being like, well, okay, this is like the books, this isn't like the books, they should have done it like this. But after a while, you kind of realize it's either a good adaptation where they stick to it, in which case you don't need to comment on it, or it's so far off there's no point in commenting on it after like the first episode or two. It'll either, because if it doesn't stick to it, then it's so far off it's pointless talking about it. So I'm not even sure the comic book angle would give you that much things. I think one of the reasons you can talk about it so much is the characters actually have motivations and act like real people, and as real people would. And so that way, you should be able to predict someone's motivations if someone describes a scenario to you. Because once you know the person, you know what the decisions they're going to make. Whereas in Agatha, I have no idea what anyone's going to do.
Because I don't know the characters well enough. Like, why bring a fake green witch just to kill her?
Yeah. And they change motivation instantaneously. I'm coming to eradicate you, Agatha. And you're like, well, okay, you're as evil as her, but fair enough, she did kill people in front of you. And then he's just like, no, we need to go off and have adventures now. It's not even like, I will let you live. It's like, I need you with me all of the time, and we're just going to go off and have fun. And that happens because of literally one word.
Yup. That fixation, it makes no sense because in these shows, you need to look at the bigger picture and then look at the finer details as you're writing the script. But I feel like what they do is just, I feel like I want to do this. I feel like we should do this. I feel this. I feel that. Scripts are not about your feelings. It shouldn't be. It's like writing an essay. When you go to school, they tell you, okay, you have your introduction. Part of your introduction, you should have your points that you're going to make, the main points there. And then when you go to the middle part, that's where you explain it. And then you have your outro. They don't do that. They've forgotten the basics of writing something that has a beginning, middle, end. And I think it's super sad.
Yeah, they seem to be writing based on what will give the most social drama at the time. And so it's, well, they obviously wanted them both to survive and go off into the sunset, so they set up the next series. But they didn't think how they got there. They just know they needed that, and so it just happened. Exactly. And everything else is like, well, we need a fight, so we're just going to have him come back and arbitrarily decide to have a fight.
Look at the promotion for the show. Like, it's like, the gayest Marvel show. That was just like it. That was
the really motivation.
Yeah, that was a bit rough. When as soon as Agatha turns into a lesbian, she dies. So,
is that what happens in real life, guys?
Yeah, the moment you kiss, that's it. It's like nuclear radiation. You just immediately turns into flowers.
You know what show that I think they do really well, because I believe this is how they write their script. They have the beginning and then they have the end, and they write the middle kind of in between. Is Dirk Gently's holistic detective agency, because every episode that you watch, you're like, how did we get here to this ending? Because they knew what was happening in the end, and they just filled everything in the middle, but it all made sense. I'm assuming you've watched the show.
Dirk Gently.
Dirk Gently. Oh my god, you should watch it. It is like a.
It sounds like a show Joe Locke would be in.
Probably, probably, but like Joe Locke is not that talented to be able to do it. But it all comes together because the care for all the little details is in there. They're like, I miss the days that everything matters that you see in the show. You're like, this is not just there just because for advertisement, for DEI, for whatever. We needed to know that piece of paper with that writing meant something, because that's going to be something that comes up later.
Well, that's why I like the time travel episode the most, because it did genuinely tie up all the things that she'd been saying throughout the entire episode. In fact, well, it's not just random stuff. It was actually her going back through time, and you were hearing bits of sentences. And I that was the most. It was the only time I'd ever actually been interested in the show, because although the story was crap, it was told in an interesting mechanical way. So it actually gave me something to watch, rather than just being basic done from A to B to C kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. I think we should definitely get you guys to watch that at some point. This is like the only recommendation that I've ever really been like, you need to see this. Plus Elijah Woods is in it, and he's brilliant.
Oh god. No, he isn't.
He's actually good in it.
No,
I like him.
No, he isn't. I've never seen Elijah Woods in anything where he wasn't just an
Are you saying Lord of the Rings was not
I didn't
good?
even like him in Lord of the Rings. I preferred Sam. He always looked. He always just had a really kickable face.
What about The Good Son? Have you ever seen that?
Which one?
The Good Son is like a psychological thriller with him and Macaulay Culkin. It's actually pretty good. It's him and Macaulay Culkin. Pretty good. Just check it out.
Well, I will. I will say Elijah Wood is really good at doing the "I need to poop in my pants" face, especially in movie.
I remember after Lord of the Rings when he was like, "No, I want to be taken seriously as an actor," and he started doing like really out there things to prove that he didn't need to be typecast. So at one point he was over here with being a football hooligan and stuff. I'm like, it doesn't suit you. Everybody like you're soft as hell, and everyone knows you can't be a football hooligan. No one believes you want to go out and have
maybe
a
not
fight.
that character. I liked him in
Was he in
He was good in Sin City. I liked him in Sin City.
Lady in the Dark or something. I can't quite remember what it is.
I didn't see that one, but I think I know what you're talking about.
I've seen the theater play. The theater play is amazing. It's basically a one-man show. And it's all done with like sound effects. It's actually two people because one of them has to be the ghost, but they just kind of appear and don't say anything. But yeah, I never thought I'd be into any kind of theatrical production, but that was genuinely amazing and genuinely scary. The way they set it up and everything was, it was really good. But I just can't remember what it's called.
Well, while you're finding that, we'll read another super chat. Two's Nose for $10 says Gerald will gather the squirrels and lead them to victory.
Gerald will dominate us all. Yes.
Yes.
Once he ascends to godhood.
And
Gerald is from Tabletop. It's something I used as a meme that Arudai was like, no, we could be a proper character. So now he's leveling up.
Dang.
He's learning skills.
Kind of like my mummy.
Well, kind of. At the moment, he's just like a narrative kind of thing that we... when I do something, I can say, well, Gerald does it, but I do the roles. But eventually, he will level up to be a thing. So he could actually become like a dragon rider and stuff.
Oh, that'd be so fun. That'd be fun. Bimmerin for 10. Swiss Frank says, hi, everyone. Just before the show, I got home from Kino watching Terrifier 3. A family movie, apparently because there were some parents with young teen kids. It was fun, though I liked the first movie the most. I don't think
I've
I've ever
not
heard of
seen them much.
Terrifier.
No. Me and horror
I
movies.
have. I didn't see the second or third one. I'm like picky with my horror. It wasn't. I get that it's supposed to be like a parody kind of. It was okay. I wasn't really into it though.
No.
I know a lot of people like it. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, how dare you!"
I have to
I tell
probably
you
just
what,
give it a try.
Elijah
it's
has been in a
fine.
crap ton of movies.
What?
A crap ton, really?
He's been in 124 movies.
What?
Well, it comes up as things he's been in, and some of them
credits?
are like fun. Yeah, some of them are like Funny and Die and stuff, but a lot of them are just movies or TV series and things.
Interesting. Ian Soforth has donated 50 British pounds saying, always have nets in your pocket. I once trekked to a secluded monastery in the north of France, and when I approached the entrance, the monk asked, I hate you. Have you got any cashews? I hate you, Ian. I hate you so much.
This is a true story. Ian only tells true stories. That's what makes it.
I believe it. Oh, I believe that you talked to a monk in the north of France.
Listen, my last stream, Dan was in the chat asking if anybody had been to jail, and then Ian was talking about it, and Dan they got into a
Ian's
conversation.
been to jail?
I don't know.
It's probably the drunk tank.
Probably.
I believe it.
Drew has nothing to say. He must be looking something up.
He's still
I
looking.
can't remember the name of this thing, and it's pissing me off.
And he's got to look through 100 and something movies that he's been in.
Well,
so.
I can't even. I'm beginning to doubt whether it's even him now because I scrolled through his IMDb page and I can't find it.
Do you think it's Daniel Radcliffe, maybe? Because they kind of look the same?
Oh, possibly, yes.
Oh wait, you're talking about.
I have the same criticisms of both of them. So
or whatever. That was
What?
Daniel
Hashtag
Radcliffe.
twinning!
I don't know anyone can. I dislike Daniel Radcliffe even more.
Dang. While you're looking for that, Jonathan Stevie has been a member for 5 months and says, not fat and not five. X-ray wicked at Disparu. I don't think Disparu ever thought he was a fat five, unlike myself. So
No.
Thank
there
you.
you go. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jonathan. The fart.
The Woman in
squirrel.
Black. It was Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh,
He might.
right?
Daniel
Mystery
Daniel
solved.
Radcliffe might have been the football hooligan as well. But now I think about it, I get
Because you
they're
talked
just
about the stage
they're
play,
basically
and I was like,
interchangeable to me.
Because I don't remember Elijah Wood in a stage play, but I remember Daniel Radcliffe. There
Well,
was an article
was a
about him getting naked.
This was a movie remake of
Remember.
a play. I've never seen the movie. I've only seen the play.
Was that the one he got naked in?
I don't know why. I mean, it's about a ghost. I don't know why he'd get naked in it.
I don't know.
No, I mean,
I just remember an article about it.
It was something
That's
that
it.
he wanted to try and change his reputation. Oh, but I'm in Harry Potter. So he went out and tried to do a load of other horrible things to try and make up for the horrible performance he did in that.
The fart squirrel for $1.99. Can I just highlight that it's a picture of a skunk in his avatar? Justice for my brother Peanut. R.I.P. Peanut.
They will gang together.
Gary Thomas for $5 says, hi all. Disbrew, are you watching the new South Korean reality show Finding Johnny Somali? A lot of people are getting into it.
I've seen clips. I've heard stories. The clips are very cathartic.
So it looks good.
This is a guy who has been to Japan and ruined Japan. Then he went to somewhere else and ruined that place as well. And now he's gone to North Korea and he started ruining that place. The issue that he's got in North Korea is it has compulsory military service. And so if you start going up to YouTubers or random people in the street, every single man you meet can kick the living crap out of you. And they're more than willing to. So now, because he broadcast his location live, being an idiot, they're not standing for it. And I've seen multiple times people have gone for him. There's also a South Korean word which sounds a bit like Quarter Black's secondary YouTube channel. And it just means you. So they will just walk behind him going, you, in their language. And
Really?
he can't speak South Korean, so he doesn't know what it means. So he, in his American mindset, gets all offended and starts trying to fight them. So the police stop him because they know he's just saying you. And they're just winding this guy up as he's completely culturally inept. And the only reason he goes to these Asian countries is because he thinks that they're all like Japan and they won't do anything about it. And he's come from America, where he's one of the most privileged classes to have ever existed, and thinks he can use that in other countries, and they're teaching him a lesson that he can't.
I hate when people go to other cultures and then they're like, I'm American or Canadian or whatever it is, and they're like,
Canadian.
Another country, buddy.
It's more that he knows that in America the law won't be enforced upon him. Like, if he came to the UK, the law wouldn't be enforced upon him. In the UK, we've had people, similar people doing similar things. But yes, they think they can go around the rest of the world and that everyone else... This is the whole thing. The moment you start believing in equality or anything else, you go to another country, that will get annihilated instantaneously.
It's not even about equality.
People are very different.
The laws are different in each country. What might be legal in one place is illegal in another.
Well, no, it's the culture. He was in Israel mouthing off to the police.
Wow.
Straight on the floor. They didn't stop it. He was screaming at a female cop. Again, another country with compulsory military service. But he was doing this at police. So he's like literally yelling at this female police officer, thinking that they're just like the American police. So this bloke just comes in, straight on the floor. They don't care. Like, there are other countries where they just believe in you get what you deserve. They are not as soft and in the like, oh no, it's not his fault. This is all about your upbringing, and it's actually the environment that affected. No, you're responsible for your own actions, and you will be held accountable to them, is what other countries believe.
Which I believe so too.
This is why he has to move.
I think it's hilarious that like we're at this place that cops are afraid to do their own job in America.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Canada too.
Over here, they're not afraid to because they prove that they are willing to enforce the law. They just don't want to enforce it. So they choose when it gets enforced.
Which is better? I don't know. Fear of enforcing the law or not wanting to enforce the law? Like what?
Yes. Over here, it's completely ideological. They just embrace whatever they're told.
And this is why we have more polite societies in certain countries, because you want to follow the laws. I will say, Japan, one of the cleanest places. They don't have garbages around, but people don't throw stuff on the floor.
That's a cultural thing.
It's just I just don't get it. Like, I know it's like people do it a lot, and of course, being in America, I see it pretty often. But I hate it when you like. I don't understand why people just take stuff and throw it on the ground. Like, I could never do it. I'll put it in my pocket if I'm not near garbage or something. It makes me so mad.
Well, English culture is leave things the way you found it, which works as long as everybody's English, because everybody's keeping it as tidy as they found it, and you have a cleaner come along, they tidy it up, and then it doesn't get worse. But Japan is, I don't know if other people do, but it's the only one I've heard where they are leave it better than you found it. So they will actively clean up other people's rubbish as they're going around the country, which is how you end up in a super clean, polite kind of thing. The issue with cultures like that is it does only work when it's you or people like you. And when you start importing people from around the world, you find out everyone else isn't like that. They don't care. Mm-hmm. They won't respect your stuff. And then it collapses for everybody. And I think it's a lesson that they're going to have to learn like everyone else.
Yup. F around and find out.
Well, yeah.
Their
issue is they're so polite.
Makes it more like cute. The American head. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like she needed a pump action next to it and find out.
Just complete the ensemble.
Oh yeah. I had to laugh on FNT when you had a dog licking your face. I'm like, that's the first time a dog's tasted X-Ray Girl. Well, an X-Ray Girl tasted the dog.
I'm glad that was the first time, because I've heard from videos. They're disgusting. Oh, there's another one. This one's the pretty one. Here, let me show you.
I can't believe you've gone into somebody else's house and then ranked the attractiveness of their dogs.
Everyone knows.
No, this one's the cute one.
Mary's
I mean,
she actually looks very gorgeous.
having seen the state of your dogs, I'm not sure you want to talk.
Hey, what's wrong with
Wow!
what's wrong with
Wow!
X-ray dog?
Wow!
No, X-ray. It's the kind of your dogs are like Pete Davidson. He's very popular, but you never know why.
Aw.
Oh my God!
Pete Davidson
compare
is
my
the pug
dogs
of
to
people.
Pete
He really is.
Davidson?
Pete. I think it's Pete Davidson. That is the one, isn't it?
The one
The
that
ugly one that
everyone
pulls
is, like,
all the
effing?
women. Well, yeah, because it is like, why on earth is anyone? He is the pug of people. He is the person that the women go to go, no, I have depth. Literally, if the stories are to be told, to be honest. But it is like, no, I've gone with all these attractive people, but I'm not shallow. I will go with an ugly man as well.
I mean, I heard he has a big.
Well, that helps, right? That's why I said, proves they've got a lot of depth. But
Women like funny guys too. I don't know if I don't really find him that funny. I'm sure he said some stuff that might make me laugh, but I don't know.
I actually
Gen
don't know
Z,
anything
or
about him.
is that
I've just
who
seen
he
his
gets
face.
now, like Ariana and like the younger ones, right? So they must find him funny. I don't know.
I don't think they. I think funny is a sideways. It's like not a side effect or a symptom. It's like a side signal of what you're actually interested in. So funny essentially means intelligent, and intelligent is a sign that they're going to do well in life. Essentially,
That's a good point.
Yes, and I've always said this: if you're funny, women's pants will fall down. I've seen it.
or did he?
What?
No, we're not bringing that up. We're not bringing that up. Malty, who I met, member for 15 months, says, good evening, Wicked, X-Ray, and Disparoo. Road to 10K. Let's get you there.
Yeah, thanks,
Where are we
Malty.
at now? If you haven't stopped to Wicked.
8 something, like 8:30, 8:40.
There we go. We're very close. We're very
Getting
close.
there.
We're getting there. We're getting there. And we
Thanks,
got
guys.
Psychotic Mongoose has gifted 5 Wicked Virtue memberships. Thank you so much, Psychotic. That's
Thank
6 from you today. Golden Nuggets with 10 British pounds says, hail folks, wanted to ask if X-Ray was okay. She seemed more quiet of late. Well wishes to you and Mark. I myself have a funeral to attend on Tuesday. Oh.
Sorry.
You're saying X-Ray's been quiet in this stream?
No, I think probably because she's been traveling, like maybe in general, like online.
Yeah, so I've been traveling since October like 9th. I went to Peru for a week and a bit, and then I went home, and then I went to here. I'm in San Antonio at Gary's house, and I'm going to be here until the 7th, and I'm going to go home, and then I'm going to go to Grand Rapids. So I'm very sorry I haven't done any gaming streams. I apologize. But I'm enjoying my time. But there will be a Rivendell build stream on Monday after the nooner with Steph and Kara. So
yeah,
I will be back.
that could be what it means. Why quiet of late could just mean not streaming as much and that kind of thing.
I'm okay. Okay, I'm okay. I'm healthy.
She's living her best
Yeah.
life.
Oh, yeah, because if they don't know where you are, they're just like, well, her entire background's changed. It looks like she's in a different house.
Yeah,
What's
I
happening?
I am. No, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So thank you for noticing. Very kind. Emilio has gifted 10 Wicked Virtue memberships.
I still think it's like he's falling down a well.
Oh, sorry,
Emilio!
Did that work better? I don't know.
Yeah,
Thank you. So many new members. I love this. I love new members.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, this looks good. It's actually healing really well.
It's so cute. I love it.
I know. Universal symbol for nerddom. And I love how people are like, it's a cult. I'm like, have you met Gary? He's not organized enough for a cult.
X-Ray's the leader. Okay. He's so organized.
No, but like I'll say this. I've met some of my closest friends because of this, and I've made lifelong friends, and I'm very happy about the online world because I never knew people live streamed.
It's a whole new world for her.
I
And
know.
even if you do, I remember for a long time not even understanding like game streaming and stuff. I was like, well, why would I do that when I could just play it myself? And then I damaged my knee. So I was literally stuck in bed for like 2 weeks. I started watching Tim the Tatman play Overwatch, and ever since then I've watched streams. It was kind of once I started, I was like, oh, I get this now.
Aww.
Hi, Ruby. Are you saying hi? Oh, get out of there.
Get out.
Dogs do that sometimes, or whatever.
Yeah.
Health Minister of Belgium for $2.
They should see how they say hello to each other.
Imagine me at a Diddy freakout.
Oh no.
Oh God, that picture! Look at that picture. I wish I could
Oh
be
no.
there. You need
What
a
the
lot of
hell?
baby oil. I could see why Diddy has like pallets.
Oof. Is that genuinely the health minister?
I think it is. Can you Google and confirm? I'm just so curious because that happened a while ago. It was one of the health ministers of like the U.S.
Oh my god, the Wikipedia is worse.
Oh no!
Look at I'll post it in the chat.
Share it, please.
Oh
Wow.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh,
For some reason,
my.
what's it called? She looks like she should be in a Captain America movie.
Oh.
Not Captain America. What's the doll one?
Chucky?
No, not Saving
Chucky.
America. The montage thing. We need a montage. That one.
Oh my god! Chat, help us! Help us!
It's something America.
This is what I don't understand. You should be
Team
an
America.
example. You should
I think
be
it's
an
something
example
America.
of what you do. If you are the minister of health, you should be the picture of health.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the picture of health.
She's been eating a lot of chocolate. That Belgium chocolate got her. She got the sugar foot.
Oh my god. I'm
I'm not even sure she
curious
has feet by
if
this point.
she has a degree in health. Is that why she's there? I don't
What on
understand.
earth is a degree in health? That's the most made-up degree thing I've ever
I
heard.
mean, I have a degree in health and disease, in nutritional science, whatever. Okay, made up degree, got it.
Yeah. Degrees should actually do something. It's like, oh, I've got a degree in health. Well, what
Okay.
did you do? You should just eat meat all the time. Oh, congratulations.
So this is actually in the wiki page. So 2014 to 2020. So she became the Minister of Social Affairs and Health. When taking the oath, she described the portfolio as her dream. Critics have said that she does not set the right example as a health minister due to her obesity. She's answered, I know I'm not a model, but you have to see what's inside, not the packaging. Inside, you're very fat.
That's not true.
okay?
No, when it's about health, it's very much about what's on the inside.
No, it's
You shouldn't
very
have a health
like,
minister that'll die at 35.
So I do CT scans and you literally see everything inside. A human being like her has to have at least this much fat in her belly.
Oh, yeah.
She's probably got like a fupa, or as I call a panis.
You can't have a health minister that gets out of breath going upstairs. Like, you just can't.
It's just that. Bleh.
How old is she? Because I can't tell. She's 62.
Whoa.
She should not. Yeah, no.
That's impressive.
Under all that blubber.
That heart, I tell you, we need to study her heart, because if you can keep going under that kind of pressure,
Oh my god.
that is next level genetics. if she wasn't that size, she might actually be immortal.
She's a vampire.
Well, it might be the regenerative power of that heart must be incredible.
It's I can't believe people like that get into power in those positions and are able to say that it's what's inside. I'm like, okay, show me your CT scan. I would love to see it.
She gets all medical with it. Like, listen, I need to
I'm
see.
so sorry. It's
No,
hard
you're fine.
not to because I've
Yeah.
done it so much. Whereas, like, if you do a CT scan of someone who's skinny, it's really hard to tell like what is what. So skinny
Mhm.
makes it more difficult to diagnose. I do say fat people, obese people, way easier to see their innards. But anyways, let's go on. Before I get canceled.
She's the kind of
yes.
person where I decided I'd rather see
All cool
a
people
pregnant
get
woman
canceled,
standing up on the bus than a fat girl sitting down crying.
Oh my god.
When's it due? Oh. It's okay, you can have my seat.
Ian Support for 50 British pounds says, we need a Union flag baseball cap, then me and Disbrew would be twinning. Right, Disbrew? Wouldn't that be cute? Would you wear a Union flag baseball
We could twin
cap?
so much we wouldn't even need to wear it until we put the camera on for 5 seconds and just put our twinning and then take it off again.
Yep. I need to see it.
This is why women TV shows don't work. It's all fake. It's like, oh no, we're besties. We got the same hat on.
I mean,
and everyone's like, yeah, but
you and I are besties. Are we
we've,
not?
We've killed the rest of our coven,
we're
but we've
on
got the
TV
same
show.
hat. Besties.
Real life.
Is there any kind of deeper bonding there? We've got the same hat.
You know that one day when Ian and Disbrew meet in real life, they are going to be besties. And Ian's going to wear a kilt, and Disbrew's still going to be besties
He's
with them.
Scottish, I'm English. We're both going to be way too pissed to care about anything we've said previously.
Forget all of your old conversations to be like, yeah.
Neither of us will be able to remember anything we've said before.
Because you're so drunk. I love it. Love it. Bring on the whiskey. Bring on the whiskey. Health Minister of Belgium for $2 says, tell Gary we need Brandon Herrera on F&T. I'm working on it. I've talked to Brandon. I've talked to Donut, and I've talked to Eli. Oh my God. I love Eli.
Who's
because
Donut?
Operator? Donut operator?
Oh no! The YouTube guy. I do know him actually. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But
It was when you started calling. I've never heard him referred to as Donut. I was like, wait,
I
what?
don't know. It just sounds so. The words are so long.
It sounds like a
Donut
nickname
operator.
from Predator.
Yeah.
I was like-
I know who that is.
I don't actually know his name, but I don't know if he has talked about his name. Maybe just call him Donut. But anyways, I love Eli because he's as giggly as he is on podcasts as he is in real life. And I love that because between the two of us, we were like giggles. Hi, how are you doing? Anyways, that happened. That'll happen at FNT.
Do you want to know the best thing about his name? Is over here, Donut is spelled D-O-U-G-H
Yes.
as Donut. So to me, he's called Do Not Operator.
Do not.
Do not.
operate.
Do not operator.
That's what you tell to the squirrels. Jason Webster for $5 says, hi to the congenial and spirited extra girl, astute, wicked virtue, and quick-witted Disbrew. Watching Saucy Saturdays completes my weekend. Thank you. Happy Sunday morning to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a really good Saturday kind of thing where I'm on multiple streams, but it just seems like having a laugh. So I do tabletop before where everything's just wild. And you never know what's going to happen.
So your
And then
Saturdays are just wild?
Yeah, then I have like a break where I just game, and then I do this. And so my Saturdays are great.
Jadine for $19.99 says, listening to y'all doing dishes and drinking beer. That sounds like a great evening, Jadine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just
I
don't
love
get them
cleaning.
confused, and you drink like soapy water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't mix up the
You reach for a dirty glass.
You'll start burping bubbles.
Clean
Have you done that
insides though.
before? I'd have never done that.
No, like in the little mix it the little rascals when he switches out his water and Alfalfa's singing and he keeps dripping up bubbles. I don't know if you guys
Like
saw that.
hiccups.
Yeah, it was actually hiccups. Not burp.
Oh.
Never mind.
I'm just making up my own jokes. Is that, oh.
No, but it was. He was hiccuping and he was trying to sing to Darla and bubbles were coming out.
John Thomas, member for 8 months, says X-Ray Dirk Gently is a book series adapted, so that's why it made sense. But you have to remember this. Although it's adapted from a book series, they followed the book series. That's not something people do nowadays.
No, it's not. So
And
they actually followed it.
the author still had to do, and I truly believe this, when you write a story like Dirk Gently, especially season 1, you write the beginning, you write the end, and then you have to write the middle to somehow get to the end because you can't 100% plan it. I mean, maybe they storyboarded it and then wrote it, but they still had to write beginning, end, and then like, this is what's going to happen in order to get there.
Well, yeah, I mean, the reason why you have to know the ending first is because you have to know what the answer is in order to plan the clues along the way. Whereas now they plan the mystery first, and it's like, this is weird, isn't it? And they don't know the ending. So it does. That's why it's always unsatisfying and never makes sense at the end. Well, you're supposed to work backwards and that kind of thing. It's like Jimmy Carr was a comedian over here. I think have him over there as well. People always ask me, how do you make a joke? He says, I start with a laugh and work backwards. What would generate that amount of mirth? And it was like, or Bill Bailey said that, one of them. But that is how you start with any kind of puzzle. Like, you have to know who the murderer is in a murder mystery, so you can how they did the murder in order to plan the clues for people to find along the way. Whereas now, I don't know whether it started with Lost. It's definitely where I first noticed it, where they were just making up random crap. They just put like a bear there. No idea why the bear's there. Never explained, but like that'd be weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I never finished that show. I got bored.
I liked some of the series,
never
but
really finished
all of the
either.
answers were awful.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And I also got it spoiled because I watched it way late. So like there was references and I'm like, oh, well, so now I know what was actually going on. So no need to finish. Well, kind of. I don't know. It was weird.
Well, as far as I'm aware, that's where the real thing with the people we met along the way thing came out, because people were using that as a reason. Oh no, the real answers were the friends we made along the way of Lost. And it was like, no, the answers weren't important. It was the journey that was. It's like, no, that's not how that works. It's actually the answers that's important, and the answers contextualize the journey. If we'd been in Lord of the Rings and they'd never destroyed the ring, that would have been unsatisfying and it would have harmed the story. If Kill Bill was released, if somebody made a story about killing Bill and they called that the title of the movie, and then at the end of the movie they didn't kill Bill, that's really going to piss people off, and they're never going to forgive you decades later.
That's true.
Game of Thrones season 8.
I've held a grudge over Kill Bill ever since I've seen it, and I'm not letting it go.
Anywho, thank you, John.
It's called Kill Bill. They didn't kill him. You can't know.
I mean, I understand that. It could be a misnomer, which could be fun, but yeah. Anyways, Jason Webster for 2 Australians says, "What is your favorite horror film?" Let's start with you, Wicked.
I'm gonna have to go with Evil Dead 2 because it's. I know a lot of people put that more in like the comedy, but it's definitely still horror, so that counts for me. I love the Evil Dead series, so I'm going with that.
What about you, Disparu?
I don't know if it counts as horror, so I'm going to give 2, because the first one that I think is the better movie is Saw, just because I love the first Saw movie. But if you want genuine horror movie, like scary thing, but I wouldn't rewatch it, but I really enjoyed it when I did. It was called Wreck, which was, I think it was an American remake of a foreign movie. I've not seen the original, but essentially it's all found footage. And they go into this tower block and a virus gets out and you just see with the found footage what's happening in there. And I always remember the ending. It's really good.
Yes.
I love a good found footage film.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've always liked found footage stuff. There aren't many of them, even now, which is why I still like this one.
Okay, I'm trying to think. I have 3 I can think of. So I don't know if you would call this a horror film. My Cabin in the Woods subverted your expectations, and I love like the idea you choose your own adventure in a sense. The characters in the movie, and then they like break into the underground where they have the games for the gods, and then end up effing things up. I also really like Battle Royale, the Japanese film that's like Hunger Games.
I've never seen that.
I don't know if you call that a horror film. It kind of is. It kind of is. And then the third film that I love that's a horror film is, oh shoot, I had it in my mind and then I forgot because I'm drunk right now. Shoot. My brain is just not working. I mean, those are 2 horror films. There you go.
Yeah.
If I remember the third one, I'll let you know. But it's just not coming up in my head. I'm trying to think like true horror, like Resident Evil was really good too. Would you call that a horror? The first one was horror.
I feel like horror, it spans into almost like its own different genres, right? Because there's suspense, there's thriller, there's sci-fi.
Oh, wait, I know. Paranormal Activity, legitimately my like absolute favorite, because he said the camera action and having those scenes where it's like the home footage made
Mhm.
it so much scarier. So
Yeah.
much scarier.
Movies, like, as far as movies that actually, like, really scare me, I would have to say, like, possession movies, like Exorcist and stuff. Those are the ones that get me. Like, those ones are really
Oh,
that stuff
Exorcist
is
was so scary. When she came down the stairs in that back arch
backwards.
walking,
Yeah. Think about that for the time too. Like now we still like if someone sees that for the first time now they're gonna be like, oh my good, like it's gonna freak them out. Think of when that first came out, like there was nothing like that. So scary.
I should say as well, when it comes to things like Wreck, it's really important to me in movies and television that the people act like humans. And so if you're gonna like square up to something, especially something scary or like intimidating, you better have a reason why this woman is so confident in her own abilities to take that fight. Otherwise, I want the predator guy who's built like a brick crap house to be the one that's like, I think I can take this alien creature. And in Wreck, everyone's panicking, everyone's scared. Despite the fact that they're in a quarantine in this building, so they know they shouldn't leave, some people try because they care more about themselves than they do the quarantine. But you've also got like the fire brigade who are like, no, we will enforce this and we will kill you to stop you escaping because that's our job and we're doing our job. And this is one of the reasons that I think modern entertainment fails. Nobody acts like real human beings, but when you go and watch like Korean entertainment or whatever, everybody acts as they would in real life. Everybody follows their strengths and they don't mind showing that somebody is basically just petrified because they don't think they think that's just that character, not an entire group, and so they allow more realistic behavior. And I can only get immersed in a show if I believe the characters are actually people.
Yeah. The Thing is also really good too.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I've not
And
seen The Thing
Alien
since I was a
Alien.
kid, so I
You
struggle
should
to
watch it.
judge
I
it.
think you'd enjoy it.
I don't
Yeah.
often go back and rewatch things. I tend to always be watching new stuff. But
Especially after like I don't know, like I said, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen after 20 years was like a treat because
Mhm.
I forgot what happened in it. I forgot Shane West was in it. Okay,
Oh,
and like
remember he was like the it boy. Everyone thought he was so cute.
a Walk to Remember.
Yeah.
I found that with a few things. There was
Oh, that's so good. That movie made me sob. Not even gonna
Yeah,
lie, I
I love
cried
that.
during
I
that
love
movie.
that movie. The Dad.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
think movies like The Beekeeper, which is literally just Jason Statham kicking the crap out of people and taking vengeance on people. It was like a movie from 15 years ago, just a basic action flick. Just pure testosterone the entire movie and all of his sections, and that kind of stuff is just good. It was the same with Henry Cavill's World War II movie that he did as well. Once again, a bit like The Beekeeper, it felt like there was two halves of that movie, and I didn't like one storyline. It felt like it was added in. It was the same with The Beekeeper. But Henry Cavill's section of it was just great. And it was literally just a load of guys going around killing people for the military. And these are the kind of movies that we used to have that we just don't get anymore. And
yeah,
they're
which
not
is
fun
sad.
they're not deep, they're not art, but they are entertaining.
Yeah.
A horror film doesn't have to be that deep, okay? We just
No.
need gore and fighting and someone dying.
I think for
Someone's
like
dying.
gore though, like overly gory, like gore over substance just for the sake of gore. That I'm not really into that. Like, but at the same time, I
Did
love
you ever
those
watch
silly
Spartacus?
slashers. Like, you know, like Friday
Yeah.
the 13th and Michael Myers. Like, there's stories to that, but it's like, you know, now they're considered just campy slasher movies, but I love them. But I don't know. I just didn't get into any like the Hostel movies and stuff like that, where there's just gore, and that's it.
Yeah, for a good horror movie, I need some kind of twist. There has to be some kind. It can't just be this guy goes around killing people. It's like,
Yeah.
why? There needs to be some kind of hook. Like in Wreck,
Listen.
the hook is the found footage thing. It's from the perspective that the story is told.
I gotta
But
send
if
you
it's just
guys.
like, oh, we've woke up, there's a guy with a chainsaw.
I watched this. It was like weird. I want to know what your guys' thoughts on it. It was really short. I'm gonna send it. I forgot the name. I'll post it like in the comments later, guys. If anyone in the chat wants to see it, it's on YouTube. But it was a found footage movie that I think it's YouTubers. I don't know who they are. This was my first introduction to them, but it was this like weird little found footage movie I watched the other night, and I was like, I gotta send this to Disprove and X-Ray. I actually thought that. Like, I wonder. What
Oh,
they
I
would
want to
think of
see
this.
it. I want to see
Yeah, it's like
it.
an hour and 20 minutes long, so you guys can watch it.
Yeah.
There is some good stuff on you. Like I've seen people do like Star Wars type of things. They're really good. And even I mentioned this, I think it was in Saucy Saturday's chat before. I can't remember
Hi,
what it
Kira.
was. It was like a gaming content creator that also used to, really famous gaming content creator, who then at some points did like choose your own adventure YouTube videos. And so you'd be left with a choice that would then lead to 2 unlisted videos that would then spread out over like a narrative structure. And every time you got to a thing, it's like, well, what are you going to do? And so you could follow all the different story threads and everything. Then they were really complicated, but it was an interesting way of doing content on YouTube. I've not seen anyone else do anything like that.
I actually just watched Markiplier's show last week.
There you go. Yeah.
Edge of Sleep. I think it's what it's called. It was pretty good. It's free on Prime if you guys want to check it out. It's also
didn't know
fun.
that was
I
out.
love Markiplier. I love him. He's one of the first YouTubers I watched, like, and got into watching his stuff. So, but it's so funny, like, watching him be like a serious actor, because he's not. But like, I still love him.
No.
And the show was good, but it's like he's surrounded by actual actors, and then it's just like Mark, and I'm just like picturing him doing goofy stuff on his videos. It's so hard to like take him seriously, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, because I like him and the show was good. But if you watch it, you'll get what I mean, especially if you've watched Mark for years, like I have.
Well, I've seen some of his stuff. I watched his playthroughs of Resident Evil 7. I think it was Biohazard. The underwater game that I always forget what it's called. Subnautica, yeah, I watched all his stuff in that, and Five Nights at Freddy's. I think the Five Nights at Freddy's videos is where I first found him, when he was doing all those kind of things.
Yeah.
He's an interesting thing where I don't think I could watch him for years, but he's very good at like react kind of stuff. Very dramatic.
I like drama.
Take him seriously. Yeah, like with being serious in the show, I'm like, that's Markiplier. Stop.
We got Lucifer the Doberman for 5 Canadian, says Vancouver Island culture is leave it better than it was before. That's nice.
Yep. It's what it is in Japan. Very few places in the world like that.
Yeah. The pride in ownership and pride in country. I think that's something that not everyone has.
It's lacking in a lot of places.
It's everything about them. You can literally leave your laptop in the middle of the train station in Japan and it won't get stolen. Yeah. As long as it's only surrounded by Japanese people. So this will be back. Maybe not now.
Yeah.
Because now there are actually signs up going in Japan that telling them to lock their bikes, because they never used to lock their bikes because they never needed to. They need to now.
Oh god, that photo is nightmare fuel. Last chance to grab it for $2. English culture is bend over and take it. Let's be real.
That's going to be the new Belgian health minister.
Yeah. God dang. Is she pregnant or anyways? Last chance to grab it for $5. The reason women go for Pete Davidson is because he's rumored to have a giant cock. And
yeah, but that's not. So does Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake used to be nicknamed Justin Trouser Snake for reasons.
I love that this Drew knows this.
Yes. Well, it's because there was a talk show, and there was a guy who's like, I know all the ins and outs of Hollywood, like all the backstage stuff. So they asked him who's the biggest in Hollywood, and he said it was Justin Timberlake.
Trouser snakes.
So that's the thing. People think the rumor starts about Pete Davidson. You're kind of assuming the answer because you're like, well, he's ugly, but he gets with attractive people. Therefore, the only answer can be. And it's like, well, who knows? Maybe they'll all just get disappointed at the end of it. Either way, they're still trying to prove they've got depth.
Sorry. I got nothing.
Your mic's gone again. She did this earlier when Wicked was trying to fix her microphone. And Wicked was like, I'm going to switch to my Bluetooth. And it just cut out. So I'm sitting there, and then X-Ray Girl starts talking. Literally can't hear a word. Okay. So it was the worst time for them both to break. Because now I think I've got issues.
No, because usually what I do is I'd like tape it to the arm, but because of the wire, I can't do that. But anyways, I decided to lean back and I pulled out the mic. My pull-out game is weak. Anyways, and that's funnier than anything Pete Davidson has ever said. I didn't plan it that way, but that happened. Another one from Last Chance to Grab It for 5 says, imagine the poor medical staff who drew the short straw and had to see inside the Belgian health minister by way of her colonoscopy. Hashtag the doorway
I
to
mean,
hell.
at least it's easy to like, because it's got to, you know how no one can resist. You're in sort of a deep cave system. You're like, hello, 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 hello.
Oh,
You just hear the
God.
echoes. It's got to be the same, hasn't it?
Oh, I don't want to know about it. I don't want to think about it.
Oh,
Let's not think about it. Let's not think about the Belgian health minister. Jadine for $9.99. Soapy water will give you the squirts. You would crap yourself to death.
At least you'd be
How do you
clean.
know this, Jadine?
At least you'd be clean.
You'd be blowing bubbles.
Out of not your mouth. Well, I mean, you could do it.
Hopefully not.
Too.
I mean,
Anyways, wow, we're here. And the health minister of Belgium has come back.
I love how her face barely fits in the circle.
I know. The lengthy analysis of my super chat was much appreciated. Just bringing awareness to these government experts cosplaying health experts. Hashtag make America healthy again. Or is it health minister again? I don't know.
It's not just when it comes to health. I'm just not sure you should take advice from people that can't stop shoving things in their face. As a basic thing. If you don't have basic willpower, then
how do you
probably
how
not
are you a
justify-
minister? How are you running a country? If you can't control yourself. It's true. It's true. I understand that.
This is why when people are like, well, then what's wrong with this? It's like, well, it probably actually does say more about your ability to control yourself and your environment and basic things about self-control.
Yeah. I don't think I can trust you unless you can prove you're healthy as a health minister. Just saying. Ian Soforth with 50 British pounds says, anything that touches on human psychology for real terrifies me. Shutter Island remains the most haunting thing I've seen, simply because I've seen the human mind go that way. I'm not trying to get heavy. So Squirrel Donut, etc.
I've
Eh?
not
I have to watch
seen
Shutter
it, but
Island.
I think I saw a video about it, so I kind of think I know what you mean. It was, it's one of those things I can't actually say if it's correct without spoiling the entire movie. But yeah, there's a few things like that. There was one I watched, and I can't remember what it is, so I'm just going to describe the whole thing. And this guy goes through and like his entire life gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And then it turns out that somebody was just hired to fake it all. But it's a really good movie, and even if you watch it knowing the twist, it's still a really good movie. It literally turns out all the people around him are actors that were paid off at the start. But I think it ends as like, where'd you get that? That's not what I has. That's not, and everyone starts panicking. They've lost control of the situation. I really like the psychological stuff. Anything that examines why people behave the way they do, or I can't remember what I was talking about on F&T, but there was a question of like how much evil. Oh no, it was to do with Angel and Wolfram and Hart. And I said I really like that storyline the most because it examines how much evil would you allow to happen if it prevented something worse. Like what? And it's the same thing in.
It's like the idea of killing a few to save the many.
Well, kind of. Yeah. I mean, it's a bit more complicated than that. But Brandon Sanderson has a few things like this where it's like, well, this guy is doing evil, right? He is oppressing loads of people. By anyone's definition, he's evil. But him doing that is to stop something worse that would destroy everything. So, like, if it's something's holding off the apocalypse, but it means that they have to treat everybody else in a tyrannical manner and destroy their lives, it's probably because at least they're alive. And I like that. That's how you do
the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, if you want like a sympathetic villain, that's one of the ways you can do a sympathetic villain. Whereas Hollywood can't do that anymore. They just have to make them actually evil. It's like, no, he's not doing it for power. He thinks he's justified because the thing coming is genuinely worse. And the modern heroic way is just they deal with one guy and then they just deal with the next thing that's worse. But there's a lot of situations where you wouldn't be able to do that. It would be too powerful for you.
Yeah, I think the only way you can do that like relatively easy is being leaders of companies, of countries, because this is why I could never be like a prime minister or a president, because you are going to inadvertently kill people. So,
Yeah.
how many people are you going to kill, and which people are you going to kill?
I think in Angel, one of the storylines is they find like a necromancer is sacrificing people, and so they kill him. And then it turns out that actually that necromancer was like holding back some demonic force from another realm that would come in and wipe out the entire world.
Yep,
And it's
I
like,
remember that one.
those few people are probably worth
Yeah.
Dang, that would be cool.
it. And that's what you see, because then it even has like Buffy, like people from Buffy coming over and being like, well, now you're part of this evil lawyer system. We can't trust you anymore. So now it's like, it's not just, are you willing to do evil, but are you willing to have your friends like turn against you to still do good? And it's like, I like those kind of ideas.
Yeah, that was a good season.
It's my favorite one. And it has my favorite line. I think my two favorite lines are, one's from Starship Troopers. They're caught by aliens. And he goes, why don't they kill us? And the reply comes back, because they want us alive. And then in Angel, he turns to Spike and goes, excuse, we're having a meeting? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't care.
I love Spike.
Yeah, Spike's amazing. Angel as a whole got better when Spike came in it.
I told this to James Marsters, and he had like the biggest smile. He was like very flattered, but I'm like, Spike is, in my opinion, the best well-written vampire in cinematic history, in my opinion. And I know a lot of people disagree, but like if you watch and you really see the growth of that character, it's just so good. And it's not fair because it's comparing him to movies and stuff when like Spike had he had 2 shows worth of development, but just such a good arc. Anyways,
I remember.
We can come back now. We're not going to spoil.
But he was like, he's a really kind of cool vampire, and I always remember the moment when there's a bit where he's getting sucked into another dimension, and he realizes he can get his clothes back, and he wants his jacket, and he just kind of goes and like pulls the jacket forcefully onto himself. It's like, it's just a cool moment.
Yeah. No spoilers. I can't wait for X-Ray to watch this so we can like properly fangirl all together about Buffy and Angel.
I mean, they were basic spoilers, but also it's like 25 years old.
Yeah.
It's like spoiling The Sixth Sense. If you've not seen it by now, you kind of
heard everything y'all said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there wasn't any bad spoilers, but I don't know where this really gonna go. I always refrain from anything big because I want you to enjoy.
None of the things were big in that.
Yeah, no.
Except maybe Spike existing, depending in which order you watch things.
Yeah, it's fine.
Jason Webster for 2 Australians says, I recommend Gonjiam Haunted Asylum to Wicked Virtue.
I'll add it to the list.
Where is that from?
I've never heard of it.
No.
Jason knows some like very like obscure things too. Well,
South
I say obscure,
Korean
but
movie.
Americans.
Yeah. I've only seen the images. The images look freaky as hell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one is literally just a woman's face, but it looks freaky as hell.
Good special effects. I like that.
No, I think what they've done is they've just used, I think it's the camera. So they've used one that gives her a really weird shaped face, but because she's so close to it as well, it'll like morphs her face and things, and it enters that uncanny valley kind of area.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I could be into that. Okay. Bookmark that and let me know. Remind me afterwards. Thank you, Jason. Xander's rants for 499 Disparate. How do you feel about the Doctor Who episode Midnight? People seem to like that one, but I felt that everyone was acting really dumb so the plot could happen.
I know it's loads of people's favorite. It's not mine. I think it's a bit slow. I like the idea, but it wouldn't rank on any of my favorite lists at all. I do like the idea that someone starts repeating something and then slowly, as they begin to morph into you. So I like the whole time dimensional part of it. And I also liked that it had the guy from Merlin in it before he was in Merlin. So going back and watching it now and be like, oh, I know him, when I didn't at the time, is interesting. But yeah, compared to most of the other episodes, I'm not that.
Not that into it.
I am surprised when it appears on other people's favorite lists compared to things like The Library and stuff like that.
Girl in the Fireplace so far has been one of my favorite episodes.
Again, Girl in the Fireplace wouldn't rank in my favorites.
Really?
But I think that Doctor Who has such a broad range of episodes. It kind of appeals to such a wide range of people. I like that people can have different favorites of all the stuff.
Just depends on what you like, and I think that's like really cool because there's some like really more nerdier stuff, more plot driven, more character driven, and yeah.
I mean, out of everything in that universe, my favorite is actually the series of what is it, The Children of Earth from Torchwood. It's my favorite series.
Oh, I don't
It was
know.
like
Have I watched that yet?
you should. I mean, it'd probably help if you watch Torchwood first, but Torchwood's really good as it is. But that was it was
Love
a 5.
Torchwood.
It was all shown in 1 week, so there was an episode per day, Monday to Friday. And it's probably the darkest thing which has been in the Doctor Who universe, but it's right on my street.
I mean,
Again, because
I
it deals
love
with
that
questions
Torchwood
of-
is dark.
Well, yes, but again, it's a thing that deals with how much evil would you do to hold off something worse. Same kind of
The
thought process.
self-sacrifice or self-loss in the sacrifice. That is a very beautiful.
I'm not going to spoil it
concept.
for you, but we can talk about that again once you've seen it.
I probably have seen it. I just have to remind myself of it.
I don't think you did.
We'll see.
I think you'd know. This one's with Captain Jack, so Doctor Who isn't in it. This is a Torchwood series, essentially.
I watched up to 2 seasons now.
Aliens come to Earth. They're in a box
Yes. Oh, I don't remember.
full of
about-
gas, like misty gas, and they start talking to it. You would know because what's his face? The thick of it guy. He became Doctor Who in himself. Peter Capaldi. He's in that series.
No, then I don't know. Okay.
In which case, you need to watch The Children of Earth.
There we go. Okay, and then I'll find out. I will find out one day.
I
Yeah.
forgot Peter Capaldi was in
Teletron's
it
like
until
you
I
would remember.
Yeah,
So then
yeah.
it's
I think
fine.
it's the best thing they've done.
Yeah. Jadine for $4.99 says, I want to see Disparu shoot a bow embracing his
I used to do archery.
heritage.
Really? Yeah, I was
Wow.
good at it. So I once I got
What?
later on for a couple of years. I did it more. I never got to do
That is
like
cool.
really long distance shots or anything because where I was doing it was like underground of a building, so it was quite a long thing, but it was still within a building.
That's cool.
But yeah,
That's really
I
cool.
always just did it. I never did like the professional stuff with the big compound bows and the sights and everything. Mine was always just down the arrow, the old-fashioned way.
Very cool. Squirrel Floyd for $1.99 says, no justice, no peace. We're gonna get to that because we haven't yet, and I want to. Jadine for $4.99. Also, Brandon Sanderson Mistborn is great. So I've heard. I need to read that book.
It's
will
what I
read it one day.
recommend as the entryway into Brandon Sanderson stuff, and then
Mhm.
after that, I would go into his epic series, which is the Stormlight Archive. But I think Mistborn is the best. This is what you get in Sanderson story.
Yeah. Stuttering Maza, which actually works really well, by the way, for $9.99. What's up, guys? Got a spicy podcasts here. My industry insider says you're one of the top podcasts watched on Saturday at this time with these hosts. Anyways, buy tickets
On
to
this-
the Real Gamer Awards. On this day at this hour on this,
This
very
second with these people.
Podcast ever.
Thank you, Stuttering Maza. And we finally caught up on Super Chats. I apologize for
Yay.
taking so long to do that. But we do have some topics, which, by the way, as a person of Squirrel, we got Disparu
Mhm.
in our panel. And I think this story needs to be highlighted. So Peanut the squirrel, beloved pet and internet sensation, euthanized after being seized by New York State. Now, Disparu, this happened yesterday. 24 hours ago, the article came out. How did you feel about this?
You know what's interesting? Because I think I probably heard about it more because people were tagging me in the story and everything. But over the course of the 24 hours, I've seen it go on more and more and go wider and wider and wider. And I think it really shows. No, in the West, we really love animals. It's
Yes.
one of the things that is always done. And so I don't even know what the more you find out about the story, the weirder it gets. And it was his description of it where I'm like, this is bizarre. Okay, so you come to Caesar Squirrel because you got a report that it had rabies or something, which seems like a false report of somebody that didn't like your stream or whatever. So it's essentially their version of swatting, is what I've been gathered from when people explain the story, like the context of it.
Yeah, I
But
didn't know
his
that part.
description is that they came into his house, they kept him outside for hours, and were rifling through the drawers and stuff. Now, if you came to get the squirrel, get the pissing squirrel, and go is what you'd think you'd do. But going through his house and his drawers looking for evidence of rabies in a squirrel that doesn't make sense.
So that makes me think conspiracy theory. They wanted a reason to
Yes.
go in the house, and the squirrel was the easiest part. So
And-
they think he is hiding something worth finding because their
Yeah.
squirrel is not going to be in their shelves after they've
Yeah.
already euthanized it.
They also
Well,
took
once you
Fred's
found the
raccoon,
squirrel-
too. His brother. Sorry, no one talks about Fred. He got euthanized too.
I don't care about the raccoon, to be honest.
just the
It's
squirrel.
like it's not a squirrel. Just a squirrel.
I've
Squirrel
seen
Patrick,
plenty
let
of
me
cute.
finish.
I've seen plenty of cute raccoon clips where it runs up to a couple of cats and it's like they're never looking at them, and then they kind of reach out, scoop the food, and just run off like that. They're cute,
Yeah, I didn't know.
but they're not squirrels.
I didn't know the whole that whole part of the story. Like I knew, that someone came. I figured that like some neighbor that was a douche just called it in, or he has a social media presence, right? Like didn't they have like an Instagram page?
He's the
Peanut
most
the
famous
Oh,
Squirrel
like
squirrel.
this
most
is
likely.
it. Like look at this video. Like come on, $500,000
Yep.
500,000 followers.
But this is the thing: if you
Aw.
came for the squirrel and the pets, they're going to be very easy to find in this house, right? So once you've got them, why is he still outside in handcuffs, saying he felt like he was being treated like a dealer and whatnot?
Yeah, I
While they
didn't know.
rifle through the entire house. That's bizarre. And I've always had a thing: if somebody says something and it doesn't make sense, you either don't have enough information or someone is lying to you. Well, we have the information. You're after a pissing squirrel, so somebody is lying to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
Yup.
thing that's so crazy about it, right? Like, why couldn't, if it was just about the squirrel, why couldn't they just let him get the proper permits? Or like, why couldn't they release it into the wild?
I
I just
don't
don't understand. And
Like,
the weird part is,
Well, no, they're
America.
after rabies.
yeah, and it's not
It's
like it was like some like I don't know, some animal agency, whatever. It was the government that did it. That's so freaking weird. That's why people are so mad. Like they just came in but I didn't know all that detail that they were going through his stuff and everything. That makes it
Yeah.
even like
He said for like 5 or 6 hours.
wow. What
disgusting.
the heck?
Yeah.
Is the reason. That was the reason. That was it. So whatever this guy, the state thinks is hiding, they wanted to get access to it, however they could. And it's just really sad because I mean, the poor squirrel, they got a second chance at life, and I think it lived a pretty cushy life from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, they've been doing this. Wasn't it like a 10-year-old squirrel or something? Literally
Squirrels
millions
live
of
that long?
views. You can just tell by the video that it's really happy. Like when he walks through the door and it's sitting on the curtain rail, just like wagging his tail, like, "Come on, I want to jump on you. I want to jump." You can tell when
Yeah.
animals like their owners and when they don't.
You love
Everybody
them.
knows. So
The video of
Aw.
his wife crying was sad too. Like that was like their their little baby. She was sobbing. I think it was an
It's-
interview with TMZ, maybe. I
it's
don't
going to
know.
be very tough to handle in the first place, because not only have you got to go through all of this stuff, like pets become like family members, you care about them just as much and everything else, but it's also their business. So they're simultaneously
Yeah.
struggling with basically a family member being killed by the state,
Yeah.
combined with how on earth do we transition this over to another animal, which is what they're going to have to do to keep like their own lives going. Because they set up an animal sanctuary for loads of other animals, but
Yeah.
it's
So I don't-
people
I don't
like the
understand
squirrel
why-
that would bring in the ability for them to do that. And so it's not just, oh, we want money. It's like, well, no, these animals' lives depend on us making a successful business. And so they've got to juggle both.
And
it's
what's
gonna,
sad is the future animals are going to suffer because the original animal and whatever animal comes after is not going to be the same. It's like the
Mhm.
second movie most of the time, not as good as the first.
I used to watch a lot of like cat channels and stuff. There's loads of like Japanese cat channels that get translated into English and things. So I've seen them when, for one reason or another, like one of the cats dies, and they do something similar where they kind of have a always younger cats, so that if one gets like, well, we can kind of replace them with these that you already know and things. It's tough though. It's not something you want to be going through.
So I didn't know this either. Do they just rescue animals? They wouldn't let him feed his rescue horses. So
no, that was in the same thing when he was on about. When I was kept outside, they were literally treating him like a criminal.
A terrorist.
They would not let him go anywhere.
Raid.
So that makes it even more sad. They just rescue animals, and then not only do they take this animal that was probably hurt, that they nurse back to health and life, whatever, and they just I don't understand why they couldn't just let it be free. I get it. It's been
they try. I think one of their videos is them trying to release the squirrel, and it just keeps coming back to them.
But like you said, why couldn't it just go to a sanctuary or something? Oh no, is it going to cost?
They
that
are
much
the sanctuary.
Squirrel? Well, I know, but like,
look at the
people
mom.
that took it.
Oh,
I know.
Well,
it's sobbing.
Like I say, it does seem like an excuse to me to get into the house to search for something else. But even if you take them at their word, I don't know what the rabies test is. I don't know whether you can do that alive or whether you have to.
You just remove the squirrel and go to a vet to do a rabies test. It's not a 5-hour raid.
Well, it's because one of the things is when the statement implies that they killed it to test it for rabies. Now, I don't know enough about the test to know whether that's a requirement or whether there's somewhere else.
No, you can test for rabies without killing the animal. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know well enough, but like we do it to humans. We don't have to kill humans to test for rabies. I think we can do the same with squirrels.
And I'm sure there'd be signs from the videos we're seeing. This squirrel looks perfectly healthy and fine.
There's no like foaming or anything.
As they said, they've not been hiding this. They've been uploading it to TikTok and getting millions of views for like 7 to 10 years. They were not hiding the fact that they had a squirrel.
Yeah, so the article states here, upstate man said they were treated like a terrorist when 10 government agents descended on his home during a 5-hour
None of that is necessary. This is why I'm sure they're after something else. You can understand like 3 people from PETA or something turning up. But when government agents do and there's multiple cars, nah.
Yeah. So they served him with a surprise warrant, allowing them to snatch away Peanut, the squirrel, and Fred, a raccoon he'd taken in. They treated me like I was a terrorist. They treated this raid as if I was a drug dealer. They ransacked my house for 5 hours. They asked my wife, who is of German descent, what her immigration status was. They asked if I had
Which I think is perfectly legitimate. So I don't actually have a problem.
I mean, that's
if
fine.
you find someone, it's fine to ask them if they're legally allowed in the country.
Yeah, they wouldn't allow me to go to the bathroom without a police escort, who then checked the back of the toilet to see if I was hiding anything there. But worse than all of that, they delivered his gray fur baby to its death. Oh, see, God.
This is they're checking behind. Why are you checking behind the toilet? Do you think the squirrel's there?
Drugs?
And when she found the squirrel, why are you still going through the rest of his house? It's so bizarre. And in his thing as well, they said they were asking him if he's got cameras on the property. Why'd you need to know that? What's that got to do with the squirrel?
Because are you hiding something when you go through all his stuff? Like,
well, that's the thing. Are you asking so that you can turn them off? Or you're asking them so that you can seize the footage because you think he's been doing something else in his house?
That's true.
That's a good point.
Either way, it's very suspicious that you want to care about the cameras at all. Because if you're doing nothing wrong, why do you care about the cameras?
Yeah.
And if you're actually after them to find out what he's been doing, why are you going in there after a squirrel?
Yeah. Yeah. They just needed a reason, and that was it. And I would love the conspiracy theorist in me says they think he's up to no good. Maybe they think he's an alien. I don't freaking know.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's saying this is I don't know. This is gonna affect the election, people are saying, because people are very like, even Trump, he posted a like 200-word statement on this. I forgot to send it.
I have it.
You have it? Okay, I was gonna send it on Twitter. I forgot to.
So statement by Donald Trump.
Oh God, it is like 200 words.
Out of New York. Mark was taken into custody for hours while officials searched his home and eventually took 2 of his pets, Fred the raccoon and Peanut the squirrel. These animals were later executed by the state of New York. New York authorities, under their terrible governor, put more effort into finding and eliminating a squirrel who was innocent by all accounts than they do to control the unchecked illegal immigrants who have flooded into their state. If Peanut could have told them that he was from Mexico, they would have sent him on his way, given him a hotel room and a $500 gift card to Buddy Squirrel. Instead, he was taken from his family, very sad, and a complete waste of resources. When we win, we will get our priorities in order and make America great again. And like, realistically, Donald Trump is very correct in a lot of the things that he said. If the squirrel was Mexican, he'd be alive.
Was that a fake post? Did he actually post that? I thought I saw Elon retweet that. He tweeted a couple different things though.
I don't know. This is the one that you posted in the chat. So,
oh well, I wouldn't be surprised. But
I mean, this is Trump's own fault for not posting on social media and going to something nobody uses and hoping that screenshots are there. Like, you know, if you're not even bothered to post on all social media, then you can't complain if people fake stuff anyway. But it is weird that if they went into his home because they thought an animal had rabies, why are you taking multiple animals at the start?
Why do you need 10 government agents?
Yeah.
And once you have
Should
them...
be one.
But no, it's definitely sketchy because why would the government go? It should be some kind of like animal protection agency or something, you know? That's what
it does almost seem not just like they were after something else, but they wanted to punish him. It's like, well, we found nothing on you now, but we'll kill your pet. That'll teach you a lesson. It's so wild.
Aww,
doing this in the first place.
Touching the window.
That would hurt. Like...
No pet behaves like that that's mistreated. They're not that desperate to go on you if you just walked in and like, I want to jump on you.
You're so cute. Stop it. Oh.
That's
I
so
imagine
sad.
that's Disparu at home with his squirrel.
I
I
am always on top of the curtain rail. That's you can't get me from down there. I just like observing my kingdom.
The squirrel kingdom.
Yes.
He keeps his milk stash up there.
Oh, he's so cute, a little squirrel baby. I can't. I feel so
Yeah, there was
sad.
definitely some reason behind it. Because if they're, sheltering other animals like a rescue, then why just take that one and the raccoon?
They were probably the two in the house. And they're like, well, this'll do. This is why we're in the house.
Yeah, but there's definitely another reason behind it that made them, search 6 hours. Come on. That's a bit,
yeah, they were going through his drawers and stuff. It's like, did you think the squirrel was hiding in there? I mean, do you think he's got other hidden squirrels in his drawers?
Yeah.
They're in the walls!
With Gary, they actually might be in the walls. I heard
needed a motion sensor out of Alien. They're coming out the vents after him and stuff.
I hate squirrels too when they're in places they shouldn't be. So whatever. Okay, before we get to the
own the place. You're their guest.
If they end up taking over the world and you being their overlord, you were right. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. Jason Bingaman for $2 says those lost millions should have gone to the poor. Which millions? Like in the States? Might need context.
I don't know. I can't even remember talking about lost millions of dollars, to be honest.
Yeah. Followers. We technically lost followers, the squirrel guy. Jadine for $4.99. I want Disparu to shoot an M1A and civilian version.
If it makes you feel better, for the last couple of days I've been shooting one in Tarkov, but that's about as close as I can get.
I don't know what that means. Okay.
It's a video game.
Oh, okay.
Escape from Tarkov.
He's talking about Dragon Age. Okay.
I'm playing a real life version called Escape from Canada.
The budget of Dragon Age would have been better if it had gone to the poor. I mean, you could have set fire to that money and it would have been more creative and entertaining than Veilguard.
Yeah.
Upload it on YouTube. It'd probably make more money as well.
Yes. Yes to everything.
We burned $300 million.
Slosher for 10 Canadian says the process is the punishment. They spent hours searching his house because he disobeyed their rules. Also, if they found anything else, they would charge him with additional crimes. Are you saying about owning a squirrel? Like that's illegal?
That's the thing. It comes down to, is not filing paperwork for a squirrel severe enough that they think they should send 10 people around to punish you that severely. It
That
seems a
is
bit over the
severe.
top unless they think
Yeah.
there's something else.
No,
Like, why
my
wouldn't they
conspiracy
get a
brain says there's
warning? Right? Like, can't they get a warning? Go apply for the proper permits, or like,
Oh,
the vet
I-
tell you. Should the vet not?
yeah,
Right?
yeah. I mean, you would think.
I mean, I don't know. I was assuming you take the squirrel to the vet.
Yeah, especially if
That's
they had
not
to
enough.
rescue it. It could have been, injured. I don't know the whole story, but I'm pretty sure they rescued it.
Also,
they
from
did.
what I heard, he found out they'd killed it from the press.
Oh,
They announced to the
Shut
press
up.
that they'd killed it, not him. So he thought he was going to get his squirrel back.
oh,
That's
And then he found out basically by social media and the news what they'd done.
Well, that's so heartbreaking. Your family
Yeah.
member. Guys, that's your government.
yeah.
Hey, at least we tell you if we're gonna maid you in Canada. We give you the
They
option.
still don't get a choice. But at least they're honest about it. Like, look, you knew we were evil from the start, to be
You
fair.
get a heads up.
You could have moved out, but you chose to stay here.
You stayed and used Canadian healthcare. This is the side effect.
It's like there's an episode of Sliders where they go to a world and people are going up to cash machines and it's giving them money and they don't understand why it's giving them free money. So like, oh, we'll take out millions then. So they go out and get millions. And it turns out every dollar that you get paid from this cash machine is a lottery ticket. And if you win, they kill you. And that's how they keep the population under control. So everyone else is taking $1 at a time because they want one ticket, and they've just had millions of tickets and actually get caught, found guilty of it, and win. And so they spend like 24 or 48 hours in the lap of luxury with everything they could ever ask for, and they think it's amazing, only to find out it's not amazing.
That's like the plot of The Island, kind of, where it's like these human beings are made for organ
Oh, I
donation
remember
or
The
something like
Island,
that,
yeah.
where they're like, oh my god, you've won, you're going to the island now.
Mhm.
And then they end up getting harvested, however, or a baby or whatever it is. And
That was the good thing about Sliders, though. Every episode was a self-contained story like that, and over multiple series, because they always went to a new world, and so they could just do whatever they wanted every single episode. It was great.
It's a reset.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
he
love
was
resets.
filling out forms. Sorry, I just wanted to highlight that. So he was trying to go through the process of filling out the proper forms. They suck.
I know.
Yeah, because it's about sending a message. It's not about the forms.
Well, I don't know what that message is. It's like, don't own wildlife. That's not legal.
I think it's generally better not to trust what people say, trust what they do. And so I don't care what they say, the reason why they went in. So, well, what did you do when you got in there? Well, you started searching through all the drawers. You dragged him outside for 5 hours. All seems very dramatic for a squirrel.
Very
so there's
dramatic.
more to it.
Yeah, you don't need 5 hours of searching in shelves for a
Yes.
squirrel.
Mm-hmm. I think it's literally because he was online, so he was always uploading a squirrel, and so that's the excuse to get through the door.
Yep. That's the easiest, the most literally in your face. Sheriff says the message is F you. I can see that.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Unfortunately. Slosher for 5 Canadian says, I remember the way agents of the state acted during COVID. I assume bad motive from power-hungry people will show from hungry people until shown evidence to the contrary.
Yeah, we had advertisements at the time, and it was things like one guy walking his dog through a field with the message "We're watching you," as if it's shot from a drone. It's like, well, he's not breaking the law. And then we've even had advertisements from them where they go, causing offences against the law. It's like, no, it isn't. Even the police are telling people of fake laws that actually don't exist. So yeah, the law is whatever they say it is because they make it, essentially.
Well, and that's the thing that I hate about when we talk about motivation, and a lot of motivation nowadays is about your feelings and your emotions, and that's not how you should run big companies, countries, it should be more based on logic, because then at least I can understand that. But I can't keep up with your feelings. You could change literally day in, day out. I am a female. I know my feelings change per day depending on where my cycle is. So if we're following a female, like that's wild.
It's because part of growing up and being an adult is you're in control of your feelings. Like your feelings shouldn't be anything. Like, you should be an adult. And if you're like, no, but your feelings are irrelevant, you child, piss off. I know I don't need to care about you. I know I don't need to care what you think because you're talking about your feelings. Your feelings are literally irrelevant. No one cares. Grow up. And that's the only attitude that it is. But now there was someone, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a lot of people act as if women are like masters of emotions. And it's like, well, they're not because they're ruled by them, right? So the master of emotion would be the person that was stoic. Stoicism is what you should aim for. If you're letting it control you, well, you're not the master of anything. It's the master of you. You're basically just a slave to whatever your chemicals are doing at the time. So
Baser instincts.
Yeah, it's not something you should ever listen to. And that's why all the whining about it in TV shows and everything. Oh, God.
Well,
I still remember the fireside talk in Rings of Power. That did me in, just waffling on about your feelings. Oh.
Yeah, I heard, well, it's like you go talk about you pick this path A, you kill these 100 people. Path B, you kill these 100 people. What is the lesser of the two evils? How do you choose that based on feelings? Now, these guys, they're men and white and toxic. I don't think that's how you should choose that.
I'm definitely saving them. They could rebuild. What the other one's gonna do? We need more what is it? We need more avocados and soy. It's like, okay, you're not gonna be useful.
But yeah, it should be, those choices should be based on logic. But I don't know. Or the idea that if I hurt these 10 people to save 1,000, is that worth it? I don't know. Stuff I don't want to be a part of.
I do.
Right now.
Go ahead.
You give me the data. You give me the data. I'll give you the decision. If it's just like 10 and 1,000, well, obviously the 10 are worth it. But then you're like, well, what is the scenario? Are we in an apocalyptic scenario and these are 10 scientists that can rebuild society versus 1,000 people that are just going to eat food? Well, we're running out of food, so the 1,000 people aren't there, but the 10 people can rebuild society. Like, the context matters. The only thing that matters is, do you have enough information to make the decision? But I can make the decision. And the thing is, in society, you need those people. The leaders that you want are the arseholes that can make those decisions about things and will make them in a split second. Because there will be life and death scenarios that you have to choose. And you have to just choose like that. And they know. And this is why people have the soft leaders. No, I want everybody to be equal and we're going to feed the poor. Those aren't the leaders you want. You want the arseholes. You want the toxic men. You want the ones that can make the decision between 100 lives and 1,000 lives instantaneously and won't lose sleep. Because they are the leaders.
Which shows it, The 100 is a key example of it. You watched it, right, Disbrew?
I've seen all the 100, yeah.
I haven't watched all of it, but I've seen
really jumped the shark.
There's certain moments. So like having to choose who succeeds you if there's only enough resources for, say, 100 people in a capsule, who are you going to choose? Is it going to be based on feelings, like my best friends? Or is it going to be like, I'm going to choose the doctor, the engineer, the people that will make sure society functions?
Yes.
You know,
it's about a lot of people, and it seems like an ever-growing number of people, can only view the world through their perspective. And so all information, all decisions go through them. But for a leader, you want someone with a zoomed-out thing that will literally just judge people by what use are you. And so if you do need to rebuild society, that is something you can mathematically choose. We know exactly how many people it takes to restart one without inbreeding problems, that kind of problem. So all these decisions are made.
Yep. It's not an easy decision to be a leader. And this is why I personally know that I cannot be a leader in that scenario. Maybe small group
if there was a
projects, but
zombie
that's it.
apocalypse, and 100%
I die.
Mark should be making the decisions. Like,
I
if there's a
volunteer to
zombie, like,
die.
no, I'm gonna be in charge. No.
Here, use my uterus and let me die. Mark's dying inside right now.
Yeah, we went in very different ways. I was like, Mark could lead you to safety, and you're like, I just want to be a uterus.
And then die. I don't want to be around. It's a very sad world, you know.
Like, I don't want to be here.
Not been hungry. I have not been hungry. I don't want to know what that's like.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. At least you're
Yeah,
honest. Like there's women in the world that are going to be offended by that. Like, I can't believe she would say that. We would rule. No, we wouldn't.
Realist.
Yeah, but
We're
the simple
too
fact that they're
emotional.
offended by words means they would never survive in a zombie apocalypse. They would be the
Fine.
first people to find the strongest man they can and I'll just do anything. Just protect me. It's
Yeah, that's what I-
instantaneous.
Remember X-Ray's prison talk? She's finding. She's going to be somebody. So fun.
I'll be
She's like, I'll
someone's
just hold a pocket.
lesbian.
I just want someone's pocket to hold on to.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay, Mark, you can feed me with turkey. That's fine. I do like turkey.
And she'll be a uterus for you.
And a uterus.
At least you get the most useful part.
Yeah. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. We got Shane Muniz for $20. Thank you so much. Doesn't say anything.
Thanks.
And Jadine for $4.99. You want Winston Churchill, not Justin Trudeau.
Yeah.
So, too pretty to be a president or prime minister. So, yeah.
Wait, is that
Um,
what we're doing now? We have to be ugly to be a leader.
No, he's too pretty. And like he's literally a pretty boy. But you
Well,
know
here
what's
we
not
go.
pretty? Dragon Age Veilguard. I have watched Az play the game a little bit.
Oh,
It is character
no.
creation. And yeah, I've never played Dragon Age. Have any of you?
No.
Yes, I played the first two. I didn't play Inquisition.
Okay. Did you like it?
My issue was I think it was from the people that made Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate 2 was amazing. So when Dragon Age came around, I liked it, but it didn't compare to Baldur's Gate 2 at all. And so I didn't like it as much as everyone else, because a lot of people are like, this is the most revolutionary RPG ever. It's like, just think you haven't played the better ones. But I know a lot of people hated the second one, and I still quite liked it. And then I never played the third. Can't remember why.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna watch apparently the worst scene in Dragon Age Veilguard. I am. Anyways, that is a very effeminate porn man.
Well, it would be, because it's you don't know which one it is. It's decided to be both.
I think that's a man because those arms make me think of a man.
No. Horns is NB.
Oh.
Because there's another clip where he literally, I'm not even joking, this is the way everyone else is sitting at a table, he just sits down and goes, so I'm non-binary. We're like, wait, what? Where did that
I
come
remember
from?
that
Not even
clip.
hello? I was like,
No. Yeah. Is that how you introduce yourself in this game? I'm non-binary.
nobody sits down at a table and talks like this. So, did you know? It's like, wait.
That. Well, to
It's
be
like-
fair,
it's
I will
like
say
somebody sitting down and go, you know what?
You're gonna sit down and be like, I'm a dude.
in Zoom meetings and emails, they sign off like that. They go, "Hi, my name is Xer Girl. My pronouns are she, her."
Oh,
and it's
that's the
like-
most, it's the most
So people
stupid
do
thing
do
to do as
that.
well, because it's at the end of the email. So you're essentially saying goodbye and then telling them all about yourself. Stop it.
Goodbye. By
Yeah,
the
no
way,
one's
I'm a
gonna
girl.
read that. That signature
Nobody
is so
cares.
stupid to include that.
People need to realize they're irrelevant and they don't matter. That's basically the problem. Oh, I'm so important. No, you're not. Nobody cares about you. If you died tomorrow, no one would cry. Shut up. And people need to be told that so they stop going around the world thinking they're significant. A lot
Yeah,
of this is
because
just
they're
about
like-
ego.
They all think they're the main character, but everyone's NPC. Just shut up.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. you are not important. Your feelings don't matter to the majority of the world. So why do you keep acting like you are the most superior person? You are not. People will like in conversation, the amount of people who tune you out if you read social cues is pretty high.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
when you say pronouns, they tune you out even faster. I think personally.
I do.
Well, it's because the way they communicate is literally just like an NPC speech tree. And so when you put it in a game, it comes off even worse. Because there's almost word for word things that I've seen as just explanations of things. Even coming down to, well, people always make the things about you. And so you got, you know, those, like, how to conduct yourself in this, and it's just like a page of text. They literally just put that word for word into the game. And so this is the definition of lecturing.
I don't want to be lectured to in a game. I want to just enjoy a good story, good characters, good fighting, or whatever type of game I am playing. But from what I heard, even the fighting mechanics suck in this game. So there's nothing forgiving. It just looks pretty sometimes.
Well,
but I
that
could
was
say
the
the
other
same thing about Lord of the Rings.
That was the other thing about Dragon Age. The reason why I liked 1 and 2 is because it had the Baldur's Gate 2 style of movement. So essentially it was combat, but it was turn-based, but it was real-time turn-based. So you would pause after everyone had done their moves to give them more instructions, and then the combat would happen on its own. And then I think Inquisition changed it, but especially in this, it's gone over to like single-player action-based stuff. And so you lose all of the depth and the planning and the complexity of the game, because now I'm just rolling around pressing X and Y and doing light attacks and heavy attacks. And Dragon Age was just far more complicated. So it's not just the conversation, everything's been dumbed down, but the mechanics have as well. It's just a far more shallow experience.
That's sad because it was a big game. Or, yeah, was.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Davidson would never fit in this game.
I mean, I thought he would fit in this game just based on how he looks.
Well, facially, yeah, but not yet.
Oh, well, I heard he is. Yeah. Anyways, let's see what this scene is all about.
Pounding that snake's nose. She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
See, now notice at this point, the other person has not said there's a problem. And this is how they want you to behave, so that they have to do nothing. They control you voluntarily. So she never had to kick off, she never had to say the problem. You're supposed to take on the fact that there's a problem, and then solve it yourself without making it about yourself, all for the attention of the one main character, a person who's so important they can control you without even saying a word. This is like a fantasy for them.
They're jerking it to the scene. That was so stupid.
Definitely.
Well, they do it a lot, right? They'll be like, look at the Disney board. They're all white. And? So what? And they never describe what the problem is. They will point something out and then want you to try and work out what the problem is and then defend your own thing that you've discovered as the problem. And it's exactly here. It's like, sorry,
if you have a problem with this, you're the bigot.
More and more, I'm just like, bigotry is clearly a good thing. Like, why would you have an open mind to evil?
And that's
doesn't actually make sense.
I love the conversation yesterday with Baggage Claim and Madame Savvy. Like, just like it's so frank and it's so clear how these words don't matter as much anymore, but people are still acquiescing to them because people still want to be good.
Yes,
right?
It's always use your own morality and your own decency against you.
Yeah, and I'd say majority of the world, I'd say 70 to 80% of the world is good and they want to do good. So when they say and hear things that like, oh, if you say this, blah, 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 you're a racist, you're a bigot, blah, blah, blah. Those types of words will end up losing their power. And they already have with the people who are more on the extremer side that hear it consistently, even though we're not, in my opinion. And then I hope it catches up to the normies, essentially, because once that catches.
It's like offense, right? When you say you're offended, the idea is the other person as a good
Should
person
care.
would be like, oh, I didn't intend to hurt you. I meant this, and so you can explain what you mean. But then the other side of that is they're supposed to go, oh, sorry, I misinterpreted that. And you both, as normal human beings in good faith, come together and go, actually, I may have hurt you, but I didn't intend to. It's like, oh, sorry, I took that the wrong way. Now I'll take it as how you intended. Whereas the other way, you could just be an arsehole, and they start trying to make you feel better, but you never feel better. And yeah, they just use it intentionally as a form of power. And so
Because
it's only
they keep
then...
moving the goalposts too.
Well, yeah, but that's
of that.
intentional. And it's only then when you realize you're in bad faith, you're like, oh, actually, you're just using that as a form of control because you know you're inferior
like
to me.
it.
You know you're weaker than me, and you know there's no other way you can do it. So this is the way you're trying to manipulate me. So you can just piss off.
Yeah.
And then the moment you stop caring about them, literally irrelevant. They lose all power.
But
Because
that's
they
how
rely
the
on that
world
manipulation.
should be, though. Like, realistically, who you should care about, friends, your family, you know? That's what the whole evolution of genes is about. You propagating your genes and caring for those genes and making sure those are okay. World ends, you want to make sure your kids are okay and your family's okay. That's what normal people do. I say normal, but you know.
That's something that I've come to realize the more I've thought about it, that a lot of things are a question of scale. And so natural human instincts which are evolved, they're good in like the home. Like the idea of equality is a good ideal in a home where everybody deserves the same right to live. They all you share food and everything else. The moment you scale it above the home, it just doesn't work anymore, and it actually turns evil. And you find a lot
It's
of
too
that.
hard to do that.
Well, no, it's just evil, right? Because you have to start oppressing people and taking food out of some other people's mouths that earned that to give it to people that didn't deserve it. So equality as an idea just doesn't work outside the home. It's literally an evil ideology. And what works at scale wouldn't work in the home. So like the strong leader that will be like, I will tell you what's best for you. If he actually does know what's best for you, is the best way to be. But that also, you wouldn't want that in a home to a degree. You probably have the parents there. You might know better than kids. But either way, there are ideals that work at scale in form of leaderships and form of nations that just don't work at a home and vice versa. And at the moment, it seems like all of the ideas that are literally based in just work at a small scale are being scaled up to entire countries, and then they collapse when everyone realizes, actually, this was a horrible idea.
I can see that, and I don't like it.
No.
Because it's too hard to keep up with too many people's feelings. And not that I want to hurt people, it's just that I don't like to the person that I never interact with. I'm not going to care about you in here. I'll be polite and respectful to you as long as you are polite and respectful to me. And that's fine. I think that's
how everyone should be.
But
But these people get offended so easily. Like, think about the teachers and stuff that get fired because they misgendered someone on accident. Like, they're not just teachers, but I remember hearing a specific story
I
about
think
that.
there's a guy in
couple years
prison
ago.
over here for that. Or in Canada. One of
Really?
them. Or Scotland. I know, yeah, in one of those countries, there's a guy that went to prison for it. And
Yeah,
I
think
think
of like some old guy, right, that doesn't know about all this stuff, isn't on the internet or whatever, and he accidentally calls someone who looks like a girl, but they identify as a guy, and then like he gets fired and his livelihood's all messed up just because he accidentally said, you know, miss or girl instead of boy. Like it's just ridiculous.
Well, I've yet to have a reason why I should care.
What about him
Why?
getting fired?
Well, no, like, why should I care about somebody else's feelings or what you want to be called? I
Oh,
don't.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
that's
have a
what I
reason.
mean, yeah.
Like,
It's just
if I
crazy when-
want to be an asshole, well, that's on me. Then your attitude would be, well, I won't be around you then. It's like, well, fair enough.
yeah.
But there isn't any reason why I should care whether you're happy or sad or whether I've offended you or not.
Yeah.
You can legislate that, but you still haven't come up with a reason why I should. You've just tried to force me to do it.
Yep.
And that's not a reason.
No.
You know?
No, it's a voluntary. And this is why most things like friendships are an exchange of value. You're friends because you like being around each other because it's mutually beneficial. You have fun together, or you provide something with each other. Whereas a stranger, well, no, they don't deserve the same treatment as a friend because they haven't earned that yet. This is the whole thing about scale. You can't scale things up to the world.
Yeah. Very good point. Should we finish this?
I don't want to. I've been delaying. God dang it. Okay, I guess we should.
What are you doing? Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay. A barb.
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barv. Good guy, but like most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big, drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a Barv. Oh, there we go.
Okay, wait. I wanted to see the options.
Yeah, is it? I didn't know if that was just me because I don't have good internet right now.
No, it's not you. It's X-Ray Girl's internet.
Oh, sorry. I blame Gary.
It's. I mean, all she did is push-ups. That's why I didn't mention it this time. We're like, in this, the audio is the only important bit.
I don't care. It's fine. Nothing good to see here anyway.
Can I just say that her form, like, this is animated. You know, her form doing those push-ups were horrible.
Well, as a whole, like, she was a character from Dragon Age 2. Mark sent me a picture on Twitter the other day.
What kind of picture?
No, it was of her in Dragon Age 2. I think he sent it during FNT when we were discussing it.
He didn't send me.
And she is just way better. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing this should work if I just post.
Maybe I should get
picture.
you to share this, Disparu, because apparently Gary's internet has been Canadianized.
I actually don't know how to get this picture across from a Twitter DM into this.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's okay. I'm at the 46-second mark. If you can share that, since apparently my internet sucks here. Gary, get better internet. I heard you had fiber.
It is weird how it seems that you're the problem rather than Gary. Like,
I don't know. Okay, let's try this again.
you can go on Gary's internet, and then even then...
Yeah, apparently it sucks. Okay, let's try this again. It looks like I got full bars. Let me know if it's bad.
Oh, are you on Wi-Fi? Oh, that...
Yeah.
I'm glad the Lords of Fortune have
better.
Tarsh's
It's way
back.
better.
Oh, Tarsh isn't the first non-binary member
now
of
it's
the
jumpy
Lords.
again, but it doesn't matter.
Oh my god. This is the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And you
Why
have to
is that a thing?
all of these ideas never existed before, and it is literally the only reason anyone even thinks about this stuff is because somebody else told them about it.
I don't understand. Like, when you are plundering for treasure or whatever, it's about survival. And when it comes to survival, you don't think about these things naturally. You only do it when you are in a world where you have infinite resources, or it feels like you have infinite resources.
Well, yeah, it is like, if you...
for it.
One of the things that people do, especially if they want to try and improve themselves or, like, show off a little bit, is the easiest thing to do is just take the original idea, and then they'll just add something onto it. So they take whatever is the dominant social order and then just add another step. And that's how you end up in really extreme ideas, but you're still safe all the way. So you're not risk-taking, you're not coming up with anything revolutionary, but it's like, well, I can be this. And that's how you end up with 5,000 different names because everyone just made their own to try and seem like, no, I'm actually really intelligent. I can think of something unique. It's like, no, you're not very
I don't believe
because...
it. Why they look like space pirates? Why are we thinking about non-binary members of the Lords?
Well, this is just what happens when you have non-gamers make games. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea that gaming is 50-50 women is wrong. It's always been wrong. It's about 93 to 95% men. It always will be. It's not going to change. And so your offices should look like that. That's what you should represent in your audience. And then you won't end up with this.
I will say the girl on the left is showing a lot more skin, which I kind of like. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But yeah, the girl, man, I don't know the thing
that they like they changed her and she was like hotter in the last one. I think Mark or someone said that in the chat.
Yes,
that they like butched her up a bit.
I just can't find a way to show the picture that Mark sent me.
Mark, can you send me the picture, please? Please. And then I'll see if I can find it.
I think
show
you
it to
said
you
he sent
guys.
it to us on Twitter. I can't share it though because I'm on my phone. I did get the message.
Oh my god!
For some reason, when I post the link in my Chrome rather than Brave, it just doesn't work and it doesn't show the picture. So
that's
yeah.
apparently the original girl.
Yep.
Yeah, that's sexier. They
Well,
butchered
Dragon Age
her.
used to be. Dragon Age was a dark fantasy game, and it was all based in masculine values. So it was literally men are our audience. What do men bang? That was it. And then that morphed over time, and now everyone's talking about their feelings in Starbucks, and no man cares about it.
Feelings and
stuff.
Can I just
the
say,
way all the clips seem like you're just waffling about your feelings in Starbucks. Like, it's very weird as a man to listen to some women have conversations because a lot of time it feels like they're just talking at each other about two different topics. And there is no content in anything you've just said.
That does happen. That's why Grey's Anatomy is fun.
Well,
sorry.
It's like, it seems like the point is that they're talking. So like, this is what we get. This is what we're interested in. We're interested in the social interaction rather than anything that they said. Men don't do that. No man has ever phoned another man and gone, just calling to see how you were. That's never happened in the entire history of the universe. Men don't talk like that.
Trying to get in their pants.
Well, yes, and even then, they're not calling to see how you are. They're calling with a purpose.
Oh my God. Mark, you're so toxic. She was hot enough that after my character hooked up with her, I lost all interest in the game. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Wow, Mark. I'm offended.
I'm offended for her. Well, no, I'm
Panda,
offended that they
leaves.
made her look like this. Honestly. Like, I'm offended.
Yeah.
Very offended.
I don't know what this whole making boobs smaller thing is. Guys don't want boobs smaller in video games. Like
That's why. It is literally, this
men.
is what men want, and so we're not going to give it to you. It's the whole thing.
We don't want
One
you
of the
to
things that
buy our
happens
game.
if you hate men, but men like women, and you are a woman, you end up hating yourself because you hate men, so you hate what men like. And so you end up destroying yourself. This is why, have you ever seen the glow up things? And it's like pre-uni, after uni, and they're really look really feminine before, and then they come out with like shaved heads and stuff. Literally because they've gone through the I hate men, so I hate things that men like, so I make myself something that men don't like.
Yeah, and it's very sad. Just what happened to I like to do things for myself, period. I'd rather that. I still do.
I think also there is an element of if you see the what the game studios look like, and like, wow, okay, I suddenly understand why all these people look like this. And I think it's literally, I want to see myself in the game, and I want men to get used to people that look like me, so they'll lower their standards.
It's not going to change the world, okay? As much as you try, that is not going to change how men prefer their women. People have preferences, and that is okay. Whatever. I don't even want to look at the rest of this.
The next bit's the really good bit, though. It's about them making us put an apology about you.
Fine. Let's do it. Let's get this
I think you
over
could probably skip some. It's where he asks her, why not just apologize?
Okay.
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know. But pulling
What's
a
wrong with that?
bath, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them.
It is about
you
them.
know, I didn't mean it.
Like this-
She just told on herself.
Yeah, well, that is literally it. They make it about them, as opposed to who? Oh, you want it to be all about the other person? So in this scenario, the person that hasn't said anything, hasn't even said they're a problem, the only thing they look down, it's like, no, it should all be about me. This entire thing is about me. Everyone's actions should be about me. Don't make it about you. I want the attention on... Again, this is something else men don't do. Men don't really want to be the center of attention. It's not that important to them. And yet, now we've got a thing. I want to... No, I need it. You won't have to focus on me all the time.
Guys, don't put pussy on a pedestal.
Yeah, it's too hard to reach.
There
There's a reason why beds are the height they are.
Oh my god. I
Is
can't.
that why?
Fingernails! Fingernails! Anyways. If you weren't at the beginning of the stream, you don't understand. Anyways, let's go on.
Oh, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
That's how apologies work, you stupid cow. The entire point of an apology is it is two-sided. Oh, you offended me. Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't mean it that way. Okay, I understand you didn't mean it that way. I took it the wrong way. It's all fine now. That apologies are both ways. It's two-sided. But then, like, no, I want power over you, and so that's all it's used for. And they've made that into the game.
You know what? There are some women out there that I've seen this where they do take that power dynamic too far and make a person pay for it versus just accepting an apology. It's I will say I've seen mostly women do this, but some men have done it too.
This entire conversation is feminine values. No man is watching this thinking, I've ever had a conversation like this, or understands it, or wants it. This is a woman wrote this, and everybody knows it.
Guaranteed. And I'm not for this. Like, as Disprue said, it's a two-way street, and I would rather, have an understanding between two people and get to know each other better so that the misunderstanding doesn't happen next time. But hey, sure, you can say the person who's apologizing is the boo-hoo, woo-hoo person, or whatever she said.
The correct response to all of this that would have shut it all up is just shut up, you stupid cow. Like, that's all they needed to be told. When the other ones, oh no, she called me the wrong thing. I don't care, you stupid cow. It literally ends everything there. And then if she doesn't want to be around you, that's fine. She can go and bug somebody else.
We need more Disparoos in video games. It'll just end all the annoyance. Just shut up, cow.
Yeah, that's why is that not an option? People have said you can't offend anyone in this game. You can't insult people in this game. That should have been. It's an option in all the other Dragon Ages that you can be an arsehole. You're supposed to have light side and dark side. Well, what happens if you want to be the person that doesn't care?
I mean, I saw that there was a choice to say oof as a response. I think that's offensive, and I need an apology for that. Yes. It's an option to say to a character. Like, what?
But I remember an earlier clip, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like, well, you can't say that, you fool. But if you click it, it goes, well, you can't say that. And it cuts off the insult at the end. So what comes across
What's the point?
Is entirely different. Yeah. It's almost like somebody wrote in the ability to insult them, and then it was changed. And it's like, no, you can't do that. We need nice people in that game. Bearing in mind, Dragon Age is supposed to be like dark fantasy.
Yeah. Also, the character that is the Asian elf looks so frumpy. What the hell?
You mean that one? That's because that's a bloke,
right there, the middle. The girl?
I think girl? This is how the entire conversation started because it uses the word she. And you go, I'm not though.
We're all confused.
8 more seconds. Let's get this over with.
Okay, yes, some people might do that.
Pulling above puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
Well,
this is literally the world they want you to live in. That you offend them and you've got to do push-ups. And they don't have to say anything. They can sit on their pedestal and just watch you and control you by your own volition. So,
wait, can we get the health minister of Belgium to do push-ups? Because she has offended me by
I should be able to. She walks in her This is the whole point. Yeah, people will find that being disagreeable is the best way to be, and it always has been. Agreeable people get walked over, and they always will. Especially in today's day and age. And yeah.
Yes.
Gotta stand up for yourself, have a backbone when it matters to you.
Pushover.
So, yeah, don't be a pushover. Also, don't be rude either. So both ways.
Well, no, it's context because it's about who you're talking to. So again, it's a question of scale. Your friends, you would give more leeway than some random person who's just in the video game who wants to have a go at you because you used a normal word.
Yeah. Dang. We got Nick S, member for 1 month, says, X-Ray, your medical training would be invaluable in an apocalypse scenario, you silly ghost. I wanted to call you gamer words for thinking you can't help. I mean, I know I could help. I just don't want to do it. I just want to die.
I don't want to be hungry. I'm out.
And besides, in their case, Mark has medical training as well, so
You got Mark. It's fine.
Mhm.
He actually has better medical training than I do because he's a medic, paramedicine. I'm an X-ray tech.
That's-
I can
yeah.
tell you if you have a broken bone, most likely, but I'm not going to be able to set it for you or, fix
There's not many
it.
X-ray machines in the apocalypse. It's not something you generally see in the movies. It's like Shaun of the Dead, like, I just got an X-ray.
I'm in an X-ray tech. Yeah, medic way better than me. So just to take Mark. You can have Mark, Nick. I'm selling you Mark.
It's just like carrying around a uterus.
Here's his leg. Jadine for $4.99 says, as father my home, it's a communist dictatorship. But for the rest of the world, I am a complete libertarian. I think there's a couple words missing from that beginning part. As a father,
No. Again, this is back down to a question of scale. So one of the things that the instincts which lead to communism actually do work on a home. Distribution of food, doesn't matter whether they've earned it or not. Your kids still get distributed it because they don't have anything and you don't want them to die. So it works on a family scale. It just doesn't work.
Oh, I see what you're saying. As a father, my home
Yes.
is a communist dictator. Okay, got it.
It's like equality. When people go, everyone's lives is equal. It's like, no, again, that's natural instincts that evolved on a family scale. Doesn't scale above that. But I also think libertarianism doesn't work either. Largely because other people don't agree. And that only works if everyone agrees.
It also depends on where you are in life and whatnot, too.
I think places need cultural enforcement because I think whatever culture you want has to be enforced. And so you can't enforce libertarianism. So that culture just dies out as an evolutionary side and societal force. It's like all the religions throughout history. The Norse gods, they died out. Why? Because they met Christians and were just like, oh, you've just got another god. We already have loads of gods. Oh, your god's probably real as well. And so it died out. Whereas the Christians were like, there's only one god. Well, they survived because they were more aggressive. And so you need some kind of evolutionary reinforcing mechanism in your culture if it needs to survive. Like Japanese culture will just get invaded and taken over because it's too polite. Which is great if you're in it, but you also need a protection mechanism.
All right, there you go. We'll have to see how the world turns out in the apocalypse. I'll be dead. So
You'll be a YouTuber.
good luck. I'll be a YouTuber. And then after the babies, I die.
Well, maybe hey, depending when it is, maybe that'll be enough. I mean, we're like,
Teletrans
just a
69
tube.
for $4.99. Just for how would you differentiate equality versus equity in society? 'Cause I feel like
nothing's
this is a long
equal. No
answer.
people are equal. Values aren't equal. The problem with equality is that people think that people are equal. Obviously not true. I've said it before. If all of the three of us did any test on Earth, we'd all come back with different results. So then you're like, well, everyone has the same right to like, do they? I mean, if you're a murderer, are you? No. You only have to find one example to prove it doesn't work. It takes seconds to do. And the main problem with equality is then you lead to the deconstruction of everything, which is what we've seen. So you have deconstruction of values. If all ideas are the same, if everybody's allowed to speak, then all ideas must be of equal value. So now you don't have good and evil because they're all the same.
Yeah.
Horrific ideas. I actually think equality is the most evil idea to have ever been invented.
Well, it's the idea
just
that
does
every
not
voice
scale.
has like every voice should be heard. Well, then why do we have things like presidents and prime ministers?
Well,
right?
I mean, it's like anything. We see it in zombie films, right? There's a load of people set up a building that works. They've got all the doors protected. They have a way of killing all the zombies and everything else. And then someone comes along and they leave a door open and everybody dies. Should that person have been there? No. Should their ideas have been heard? No. They killed everybody. It's like, this is what happens. If you're going along a boat and there's a guy who's like, I want to drill holes in the boat. No, you don't. Get off the boat.
You're dumb.
It's like not all... If there's somebody there and they're constantly saying bad things that lead people off, then no, I like the way we're going. Things were better back then. I don't want your newfangled modern ideas that you think are going to improve because you're 19 and don't know anything. I actually think traditional ways work, because tradition can evolve, but you have the core of everything and then you just change it a little bit. But the traditions existed there for thousands of years for a reason. That's why they survived thousands of years. And so iterative changes on that work. But that's not everybody has good ideas. Because if you don't have ideas that slightly improve the tradition, we ignore them. Because they're radical, they're too far, and they don't work. And they're not based on the, what was it? You yourself only have your same amount of wisdom, but tradition has the wisdom of every single person that's ever lived. So they communally got together and decided this was the best way. I don't believe everyone's ideas should be heard of at their equal value at all.
There we go. Hopefully that was a good answer for you, Teletran. Raider with 5743 says nothing. Also, hi Raider. Met him last weekend. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you, Raider. Jadine for $4.99 says also depends on your force of violence.
Starship Troopers is right. The one true authority from which all others is derived.
There you go. And we have Old Renaissance Boomer for $2 says, I got a win on Fortnite. First day ever playing. I guess you are running for the next Boomer Gamer against Gary. So Gary better watch out.
One thing Fortnite does well is it will, if you're great at the game, you'll get like with people like you. If you're bad at the game, you'll get put with people like you. So you always stand a chance of victory. One thing I would caution is your first 4 or 5 games are done against bots.
Oh, there you go.
So
you might have been
do 5
trickery.
and then count from there, and you'll be against players.
Yeah, Disbrew loves playing with people like myself who are not very good leading the party.
Oh yeah, I
He
can
is
get like 40 KD and stuff in those games. It's amazing. If you want easy Fortnite games, play with someone that doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's gold.
Oh, Disbrew, your KDR is just so high. Oh, we brought that full circle.
Like a ring or so.
When speaking of shooter games, when we're all back home, meaning me and X-Ray, because we're the ones that always leave, we got to play Space Marines. I still haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think you'll enjoy Operations. It's really fun. Like really, really fun. So, Wicked, what is the plan for you in the next couple days?
Well, I'm not going to be around no gaming streams this week, but I will be back next week. Regular Saucy. I'll be back home. So, and then back to my normal gaming schedule then. There might be like a random, I might have a random live stream this week though. So stay tuned. Somewhere fun out in the wild.
Cool. Disbrew, anything coming up that you want to share? Videos?
I've got to do the final 2 episodes of Agatha, and then that will be over.
That's exhausting.
I don't know. I get back to the news and everything. Yeah, Agatha dropping during Rings of Power and everything really messed me up.
Almost over. You're almost at the finish line.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure there's anything else even on the horizon, really. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens from there.
Let me see. The next big thing would be Gladiator 2. That will be in 3
Well, I'm more into
weeks.
like TV series than movies anyway. So.
Okay. TV series would be oh god. What If? December 22nd?
Oh, I tried to review What If when they first came out, and
it's a bit too like because it's episodic, right? So I feel like that would be difficult to review unless it's a really funny episode. So yeah. You're right.
It was one of those things where it's like kind of competently enough put together to not be interesting.
You're like, why aren't you worse?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of the stories, as Gary always says, what if we just made everybody a woman? Is kind of the stories. But yeah, it's not like funny awful, and so it doesn't scratch the same itch for me.
There you go. I am going to be on Monday with Carolyn and Steph, my nerdy home, building Lego Rivendell. And it'll be after the Nerdrotic Nooner on Rumble. Also tomorrow, we have Andrew Collins on Forbidden Frontier, who is from Megalithomania. If you're into that ancient civilization stuff, we're going to do an interview with him at 5:30 Central. So check that out. And yeah, I'll hopefully be home and back to normal schedule in a week and a half. So yeah,
we'll be home soon. We're always gone.
We'll be home soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kara is gay because I sleep with her. That's right.
I still remember when Lady Gravemaster said,
Oh.
X-Ray girl, I just want to tell you I love sleeping, I miss sleeping next to you and snuggling your hair. And then she was like, I don't know why people took that the wrong way. I'm like, what? I was more... And then you're like, I can't stand you. I'm like, what have I done now? It's
Guys,
like, my husband's agreeing with you.
Yeah, you talk about two women in bed together, they're gonna think about scissoring. I'm just saying.
She got annoyed because her husband, she clearly went to him as if he'll back me up. He's like, no.
No, you done fooled yourself.
It was one of those things that was so obvious, and like literally, I was like, I can't believe she's posted that.
She's
The
so
instant I
innocent.
read it, and it's like most people, when you point it out, will realize, oh yeah, that was bad phrasing. But it was like, no, completely,
mad.
no
She got
idea.
mad. But yeah. Anyways, I've slept with Lady Gravemaster, Wicked, and Kara. There we go. I'm gonna still get mad at everyone.
That's a YouTube
okay?
channel right there.
I mean,
The wife stealer.
Mrs. Steal Your Girl.
There you go. Shane Muniz for 20 says, love the stream. More shoulders, please. Disappointed and disproof for not stepping up. Well, Wicked.
yeah, just Rue, come on.
Shoulders.
It is a
More
very
shoulder.
weird thing where it's like, no, I'm just going to buy clothes that are too big so that
There you
one
go.
shoulder is off. I'm like, what?
I've done that.
How
They're
fashion just Rue.
It's like
Look it up.
men's clothes actually fit them.
cute
I couldn't
top.
pull this off
I
one
like
shoulder if I
those.
wanted to.
Well, you've not tried, so
It would definitely tear, I'm telling you.
it's that KDR, isn't it?
Nobody has ever
Sorry.
gone, oh, what I really admire about you is the girth of your shoulders. Like, that's never happened.
To you or in general?
No one has ever talked about the girth of somebody's shoulders. No.
I love how broad. No, I love
Broad
how
shoulders,
broad your
yeah.
shoulders.
Yes.
Not girth.
Words matter.
Girth sounds weird to talk about your shoulders. Girth is
Exactly.
like, you
Because
know,
girth has different connotations. This is why you can't use the word
Exactly.
moist anymore.
You got moist. No, I'm kidding.
My shoulders. It's like, wait, what have you been doing?
Ew! Why are you sweating so much? It's getting
told-
too.
Saucy. I told you not to put it on a pedestal.
There you go. It's just dripping everywhere. Anyways. I hope everyone has good. Thank you, Vicky, for letting me host.
Yeah,
This
thanks for
is,
stepping up. Very,
You're welcome.
respect
I don't know if it's a good idea.
No, you did good. You did great. You're professional. You're more professional than me. You're good.
I made Disprue like belly laugh, so I'm gonna take that
I
as a
know.
win.
I didn't see that.
It's a
coming.
win.
Yeah. Well, I always find the best jokes and conversations are where someone starts with like a wacky idea and then it just bats back and forth, and by the end you get so extreme. Those are by far the most common conversations.
I love
when you're
that
talking.
it's like repetitive.
Yeah, like when you talk to someone and they just kind of take it and like there's no bounce back. It's like, well, I just feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. So no.
Yeah.
Once
Do like a good
it
bounce
gets
back.
a little bit more extreme each time.
I
didn't
it
even
when it
hear
gets
that.
A little extreme each time. Anyways, I think the chat's just getting a little. Well, I feel like Lady Gravemaster right now. Chat, I'm being dirty here, or am I? But
I just love that
thank
she
you, Wicked.
sanity checks things with her husband. It's like, he'll know.
What will he?
Yeah. It's like whenever someone's like, what's this word? She's like, I'm going to ask him first. And he's like, don't Google it.
Go Google it. But yeah, thank you to Wicked. Thank you to Disprove. Thank you to the chat, everyone who participated. And we will see you guys next week when I think we'll all be at home. So
Yeah, we'll all be home. Regularly scheduled
Yeah.
programming.
love you.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.